back to another episode of the Clappy and Frank Show. We have the man, the myth, the legend. We have Uncle Manny, the most famous watch dealer on 47th Street. Arguably the most famous watch dealer in the world. I was at his place a couple of weeks ago, hustling and bustling. I watch his videos on YouTube almost every night. I can't get enough. It's like crack cocaine. Uncle Manny, tell us how you became the most famous watch dealer in the world.
Is he the most famous?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
First of all, I don't know anything about watches. I just do business. This watch business came in by accident.
What do you mean? What was your first job?
First job in America.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of things, My first job, I could say I used to pack bags in a supermarket,
Where?
so I could make shopping for shoppers,
Where was that?
When I was a kid, we were refugees, we immigrated to America. Times were hard, and I had to. My father was stuck back home, and my mother. We're four siblings, and I always been outside, as they say.
A street
Met
guy.
a lot of good people. I met a lot of bad people, but I'm here because my mother told me one thing. We left everything behind to say, to represent who you are. So with that being said, I went to as a young boy, I went to yeshiva.
Yeshiva?
I went to. I want to tell you, I didn't speak English. I didn't know how to read or write Hebrew. Nothing. I went to a school. It was, it was a thing where a lot of the big gedolim, they got together, and Agudas Israel, they created something very special that every yeshiva in America needed to take refugees.
It was the
Because
80s, the
they were
90s?
in the 90s, early 90s. So we immigrated to America, and my mother was a big believer in yeshiva education. I didn't understand, we left everything behind, to have a three-letter word. You walk around saying that you're Jew. I didn't understand. I was in shock. I'm still in shock that how people left everything behind, back home, just to say that I'm a Yid, and be a part of the community, be a part of, it's very hard to explain and talk, to get up and to make a decision because everybody was on a run.
Which country is this?
Part of Russia.
You came from Russia.
Yeah, part of Russia, yeah. It was a former USSR.
And you came to America at what age?
9 years old.
And you didn't speak a word of English?
Word of English, didn't speak Hebrew, didn't know how to read and write. My mother just said that we were special people, and we come from this nation, and we have to represent our religion, and it's a freedom of religion in America, and freedom of everything. And I think in my neighborhood, every day they were immigrating. I shouldn't say every day. Every week we had at least 100 new families.
What neighborhood was that?
And then in Briarwood, we immigrated.
Queens.
Briarwood, Queens. A lot of people immigrated everywhere. Brooklyn, Brighton Beach. We happened to stop in Briarwood. And I never forget, every day you meet new people from different cities, like the survivors, from the Holocaust. They talk about, he's from Hungary. This one is from Poland. This one is from Ukraine, and this one is from Germany. This one is from this city, that city. It was the same kind of thing. It was unreal.
40 years later, in 1990, the same thing all over again.
You know what it is? The young generation got too comfortable. The people in America, the money got to their head. and it's got two. Everybody's comfortable. What are you talking about? Look at me. I have money. I have success. I kind of voted for Mamdani.
You as a Jew voted for Zoran Mamdani?
My brother, forget about being Jewish for 1 second. I want the young generation to see what kind of wilde chaya, what kind of animal that there is, what it is at hate, because I couldn't express it. So now, today, you got the October 7 Jews. They got the Chai Jews. Yeah, my grandmother was Jewish Jews, You got all these type of Jews. They claim that they're Jews. Are they Jewish? Yeah, could be. But from our city, we don't marry out. We only marry our own people. Unfortunately, you lose a couple on the way because it's America, but, we don't marry out. It's like a Hasidus, like a Hungarian would not marry a Polish, but after the war, they had no choice. Who was left, they took, You understand? Hungarians are like, what? The Polish are the worst cook,
Moshe, Gezha Balchuva language over
You
here?
understand? So right there, that tells you a lot of things. So, slowly. So my first job going back, was packing bags, making sure, we had crazy organizations that try to help us. We went from living in a big mansion, getting driven to school in a equivalent to a Rolls Royce, Gaz-24, as they call it in Russia, to living, our servants lived better than how we lived. We moved into a studio apartment and a 1-bedroom apartment. It was a shock. I was always around horses as a kid. I had a trainer. It was a total different kind of lifestyle, and all of a sudden we came here, and
What your family doing business back in the USSR?
they weren't a fast business, as they call it.
What's that?
My grandfather was the only gas station, petroleum. He was a very special man, and Menashe Efraimovich was as they call it. I don't know. In America, they would say tzaddik, but they call him something else.
A mobster?
I don't know. He got things done. He got things done. There's a famous story of my grandfather Menashe got sentenced to life in prison. So they come to court. They got him chained up with a ball, and all of a sudden, my grandmother Miriam comes to him. Did you hear? He said, hear what? My grandmother's crying. My grandfather said, hear what? But you just got life, 25 to life. He said, what do you mean? He looked back at the judge. He said, start running. The whole courtroom was shocked. And he told my grandmother, she was the daughter of a big Rav, like a chief rabbi of a different city, Yakubovich, and Miriam Yakubovich, and he told my grandmother something very, very special. He said, I'm coming home, and you're gonna have a boy. You're gonna have a boy. He told her, make sure you don't make a bris until I come home. So everybody was shocked, So what are you talking about? Don't make a bris until I come home.
This is the judge.
No, my grandfather told my grandmother, Miriam, you're gonna have a boy.
Meanwhile, he's supposed to have a life sentence.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're going to have a boy and
in
don't
Siberia,
make the bris until I come
we
home.
live in a village, called Khatarchi. This is Siberia. So, my grandmother took it serious. In life, you need two things. Well, actually, three things. You need emunah. The most important thing in life, you need emunah. Because if you believe in faith, if you believe in God, and you believe in yourself, it don't matter. You could be the worst place in your life. If you could believe in change and fixing your position, and you will come out of anything. Because the miracles, you can't tell. You can't write things like that. What's gonna be, and it happened. My grandmother had a boy. His name is Raphael, and and that boy is my father. And
And he got out for the bris?
no, it took many years. My grandfather came home 5 years later, and he went partnership with the warden. So he came home, and Stalin died. I think in
53, Stalin died.
yeah, Stalin died, and then all the guys, all the criminals, and that were prosecuted for the wrong reasons.
Political one.
Political prisoners, and the Yidden. But I want to tell you a famous story with that.
So did he have the bris, or he waited 5 years?
So 5 years later, my
They had the bris.
grandfather came home. 5 years later, they had a bris. So it wasn't. They were very careful in Russia how to do the brises. A lot of people talk. A bris is not a joke. It's a very serious thing. So the moil used to come in our city, like every 2 months, every 3 months, and they used to gather as many kids possible, and he would do like 15, 20 bris in one
Wholesale,
day.
wholesale.
Yeah.
Wholesale brazania.
I don't know what you call it. You're making a
lasagna.
joke out of it now,
called
but
lasagna?
back in the day, it wasn't like that.
Is it called brasania?
I don't know what it's called. Abrazania, yeah. I didn't understand. You're not pronouncing it correct. Abrazania, yes. So I asked my grandfather one day, and I asked him, what was who did you see in prison? It's amazing how, he went in there knowing that he's going to come out, even though he had a lot of assassination attempt on his life.
In prison? Assassination
In prison,
attempts?
yeah.
Who's
So
trying
he
to
made
kill him?
the government officials, he was very, very high up ranking in the outside world.
In Rikers,
And, I don't know, back in the day. So, make a long story short, he came home, and I asked him, like, what did you, he said, there was a lot of people in jail. They collected all the rabbonim all over, Russia, took him to Siberia. So he told me that he had God put him there so he could stand up for others. The old rabbonim that can't fight, that can't get the food, that can't get. So he said, Hashem put me there to help
He was
others.
a shaliach for the rabbanim.
Yes. So a lot of interesting things, happened in his life. And you know what? He died in America. They took his grave to Israel. They gave him, people in his, if I asked him, would you ever, he said yes, because when you love Hashem and you give his kids, he was a big believer of giving food. Like Tomchei Shabbos over here, a big believer in supporting almanas, people, their husbands didn't come back from war. So, and they had kids, and there was a big famine in our town, and there was no food. There's always...
What town are we talking about?
In the town where we grew up, in a
You don't wanna talk
small
about it.
small village, you know?
You're mentioning giving food to the poor people.
Yeah.
And this is the same week, 2 days ago, was the yard site of Rabbi Shai ben Moshe.
Yeah, of course. I've been there.
Oh, you've been there?
Yeah. I've been
On his
there.
yard site or in general you were there?
I've been there, General. I took my kids. I want them to see. I took them to Poland. I took them to Warsaw Ghetto. I took him to the shul that was the head, in the Warsaw Ghetto. That today they made like a museum. You got to pay to get in. I took him to the Warsaw Wall, and they told me they can't jump that wall. I said it wasn't that simple. Not today. They make it look like a picture perfect scene. It wasn't like that. And I took him to the last stop where the bus, where 350,000 people was gathered and left from that stop. There's a lot of things that I want,
But I was telling Moshe in the car today, my co-host over here, I said, why is it that there was so many thousands of tzaddikim in the last 6,000 years, whatever, and why is Reb Shai ben Moshe so famous? And it's a new thing. I believe that if you feed Hashem's children, more than anything else, if you give food to the poor, to Hashem's children, you're going to become the biggest thing in the world. Avraham Avinu used to feed poor people, Jewish, not Jewish. Reb Shai ben Moshe used to feed poor people.
The people that give tzedakah, charity,
food.
and the people they give tzedakah. Charity is not $1 just to get the guy away. Sometimes you're busy on the phone, somebody comes to you, and today they got this new technology, the credit card machine. And you look at the guy, are you serious, The first time I seen a guy with the credit card, I thought I was going to smack him, And then I found out this guy is a multi-millionaire, but his side hustle is, he collects tzedakah. And, it's not easy to collect tzedakah. A lot of people think, it's very easy to collect tzedakah, and it's very, when somebody gives tzedakah in a happy way, and basically tzedakah is not $1. Tzedakah could, save people's lives. I've seen miracles with tzedakah. I have a lot of crazy stories of my own about tzedakah. What's the power of tzedakah?
Give us one, please, Manny.
I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I was many years ago, over 20 years ago. I was going on a date, and I get a phone call from a guy in a neighborhood in Queens. His name is Shlomi, and when he calls, it's automatically a tzedakah thing, even though he's a diamond dealer, he's a little mashugana, he cannot get a no for an answer, So so I was always outside, and tzedakah for me was like the biggest thing. I used to give, I call it extra credit, sometimes like I didn't have, it wasn't only 10%, I didn't have no cheshbonos, meaning that I didn't know how much, because like everybody that came, the businesses I was in always was successful, and I always, I went partners with God, I said, if God is going to give me, I'm going to give back. I know what it is to be hungry. I know what it is to be homeless, meaning that we have nowhere to go. I know what it is, to be, waiting for somebody to bring you the food, because, I remember I was in Moscow, and I went to get a sandwich. My grandmother Miriam was there. My mother was there, and I was, I'm a eater, as they call it. I try not to miss a meal. And I was hungry. I haven't eaten in 3 days, and we were traveling, and I had fruits. Everywhere was an apple. Everywhere was some kind of a fruit, but I wanted like a sandwich. And we walked into a store, and I ordered a sandwich. She told me passport, I didn't understand, I was in the city of Zhdanovsky in Moscow. I didn't understand. I was a kid, and they said, no, I want his passport, So, we had 2 suitcases of money. And I never forget, she said, 6 ruble. I laughed at her. I said, what's 6 ruble? If you only knew how much money I had in my suitcase. And she said, нет, для вас нету кушать. I never forget that.
What does that mean?
For you, there's no food. Because my passport said you didn't, So that's something that was in my mind that could never be erased. It's like a, God forbid, or some kind of a nightmare. It can never be erased. What do you mean? What's 6 ruble? What's food? I'm a child. I got nothing. That's what happened, during the Holocaust, during the war. People had opportunity to leave. People had, but the whole Europe was built around train station, and everybody was helping, and the Nazis take down, and people were in a disbelief, like how we were in disbelief. I have 2 suitcases of money, and they don't want to sell me food. Everybody was like, what do you mean? I got money. Like, the young generation are idiots. What do you mean? I got a credit card. My brother, when your credit card's not going to work, call me. What are you talking about? I got money. You're going to walk into a store. They're going to tell you, we know who you are. There's no food for you. It doesn't matter about...
Manny, I feel like that's happening in the world. After October 7th, there was tons of stories with Jewish people that were tourists around the world. They
Listen,
went to
there's
restaurants.
always going to be hate. Do you know why? Because who we are. You have to become stronger. You have to give more to God. You have to be more religious. You have to be more believers. People think, you know who I am? Who are you? I make money. Do you? It's like somebody telling me, Manny, how do I go to Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur? How do I go in front of God, A friend of mine tell me, how do I go in front of God? I got 35 million in the bank. I said, and? How much did you give tzedakah? Did you give charity? No, it's my money. I said, God just lend it to you to do something good with it. And what are you going to do with it? He's like, what are you talking about? I'm going to do business. I'm going to do it because it's never enough. This generation, they want more. They live in a 10-bedroom house. What are you talking about? I need a house in Florida. I need a Pesach house in Orlando. I mean, you already got everything. What are you talking about? I got a car. I want a Jeep. My wife needs to get her own car because I don't want it to drive with me so she don't nag me. You understand me? All this like stupidity is gonna come. It builds, it builds negativity. You look at life like it's me. I build it. Like someone's gonna call you. Let me call you back. I don't got time to talk to you right now. If your old Rebbe used to call you and you block him, or why all of a sudden like everybody want to be my friend? Yes, there are a lot of people, when they know you have money, they're savages. They don't leave you alone. They call you like 24 hours. But you got to know what to give, It's like you grow. Like how you grew in business, how your wealth grew, you also have to grow in giving charity.
Manny, we're not going to be here for 3 days. You're a Bukharian kid. You're packing groceries.
Bukharian? No.
No. You're a Russian immigrant. You're
Yeah.
packing groceries. Your family's starting the American dream. You're living in with tenements and 1-bedrooms, 2-bedroom studios.
Yeah.
How did you become the mogul of 47th Street?
I'm not the mogul of nothing.
Okay, but again, how did you get into this, Merle?
I got into this watch business by accident. I did collection. I was in Detroit. I was picking up somebody's bill. And
Collections? What does that mean? Explain.
I went, a jeweler in Detroit owed money to a jeweler in New York. So I did them, we worked together. So,
You used to go for collections to collect the money.
I used to go collect. I talk nice. I have a way of talking with people. I have a way of communicating with people, We're not going to
How old were you?
with a baseball bat.
How old were you?
Recently, I just got into the watch business less than 2 years ago.
Less than 2 years?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Your face is the most recognized face in the world of watches.
Hold on, Cloud. What did you say the most?
Because
One of the most.
He's one of the top 5.
Okay.
listen to me, I'm not nobody. I be honest with
So
you.
you came as a collections.
Be honest with you, I don't even know anything about watches. I just know business.
How old are you, like 45?
Yeah, I'm 45. I just know business, and I'm just doing it as a hobby. I'm just doing it for fun. When you do it as a job, everything's gonna bother you.
Let me interrupt for a second. I was
Yeah.
in your shop.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this. I'm not being paid to say this.
Okay.
You have the most Rolexes from any watch dealer in the world. Somebody should prove me wrong. I saw, what was it, a couple of thousand Rolexes?
Yes.
Nobody has what you have. Nobody has what you have. Fact or not fact?
Because I made it like like people collect real estate, people collect cars. So I said, you know what? Let me do this. Let me do this.
I'm being serious. Your competitors.
So you only started
your
hold
competitors
on.
have a few display cases.
My brother,
and
I
you
have no
every
competition.
Watch in the world.
I have no competition. You know why I have no competition? Because I'm working with God. You understand me? I have no competition. When you're working and you're thinking everything is yours, nothing belongs to me. First of all, I got nothing to do with this. You understand?
You started
I got a
2 years ago?
survival mentality. You know what the
second.
survival
One second.
mentality is?
Yeah.
You understand? I'm in a survival mode. I'm here as a guest.
So you
God
started
gave
2
me an
years ago?
opportunity to,
You started 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Again, you were doing collections for people in the jewelry industry.
No, I was
Where
doing
were you
collection
going?
for
Detroit?
myself.
Where were you going? Around the world? Where were you going?
Yeah. I had my routes.
And you were
Florida.
successful. And you were successful.
Very successful because I talk with people. I talk with people with a brain. I don't talk to
How many
people.
years ago did you start? How many years
I
did you
don't
do
talk- I don't-
collections for?
Listen, I sell jewelry, and I was doing collection. Collection is a whole other business.
Manny,
Hold on.
I want to zero into the collections.
Yeah.
If someone you're a perfect guy to ask. My friend has opinions. If someone owes someone money, Manny, give us 3 tips, the most successful way to get it
First of all,
money back.
somebody owe you money.
Yeah.
You can't burn a bridge and call him and act like a Vildachaya. What is a Vildachaya? An animal. What? Ba, 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 ba. You know who I am. I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to do that. My brother, calm down. Talk to him. Maybe he's really in a deep situation. Maybe he did that to steal from you. You got to give explanation why. You got to show up in his house. Not in a way like threatening. Yo, can I help you with anything? Is there something I can help you with? Before I came here, there's somebody that, his whole store got robbed. He has no money to pay back. But you know what? It's like taking blood from a stone. Can you take blood from a stone? No, I specialize in that. You understand? Lashon Tov. You heard of Lashon Tov? You always have a chance to argue with somebody. You always have a chance to fight with somebody. You have to have your own way, direction, because I fell many times myself. But you know what? God was always good to me. I got back on my feet. I fell many times myself, many times. But I'm here. If you don't know how to lose, you will never know how to make. If you made money fast, it's not going to last. Because, being real is you got to be real. You got to be real. You got to talk. People say, oh, you got to go to a synagogue to talk, or you got to go to a church, you got to go to a mosque. My brother, there's only one God. You understand me? A person that's born a Jew, he goes to a synagogue. A person that's
Okay,
maybe.
1 second. He asked, how do you get money back from people that owe money? Because you were doing it for decades. So the first thing you answered really well is, don't go threatening with a baseball bat. Talk nicely to him.
Listen.
Go visit him. Okay, that's one way.
You got to do it face to face. You got to sit down. You got to sit down and look for an option. What is it you have? What happened to you that you don't have this money? So in this particular situation, I got into the watch business. There was a debt owed $44,000 in Detroit, Michigan.
44, that's like a half a watch today.
$44,000. The guy bought diamonds. He sold the diamonds. He doesn't have the money to regroup. Doesn't have the money to pay. You want to put me in a payment plan? I told him, okay, payment plan. He said, you know what, Manny? Because he was so nice to me. You care about me. I do care about people. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter who he is, where he's from. You know what I'm saying? I care about people. I went to him nicely. I spoke to him nicely. I sat down with him. What is it I could help you to grow? Can I give you advice? Is it a wife problem? Is it a children problem? What is it? Is it your ex-partner? They got a partnership is, they got all kind of partners. They got partners, that are good. They got partners that are nightmare. Then, then you got all kind of partners. You got employees that want to be your partner. You understand me? They right away think how to steal from you, how to plot, how to take your... a lot of businesses collapse because employees, they come in, they espionage the company. So I have a lot of experience in the field, a lot. And I speak a lot of languages. I get along with people.
How many languages?
9. I get along with people, and I do it in a way like, he's not helping me, I'm helping him. So he told me, like, Manny, I like you. I don't have the money. You know what I'm saying? Would you take my wife and the dog? I said, no. Take my house, but the mortgaged out the house, okay? And take my car. Who the hell drives a Jaguar in New York, So I'm thinking, like, it's an expense. I was like, what am I going to do with an expense? That's your problem. You married her, Today, it's a big issue, if you're not a modest dressed, and you don't speak right, and you don't respect your husband and kids, and you don't respect your family values, you don't respect the religion. You know, Sammy, there's no marriage. It's all like a show. It's like you there. It's like I'm with a Barbie. You know what I'm saying? Really, it's like it's no marriage.
Nobody home.
Nobody home. It's like she's doing her thing, everybody's doing her thing, he's doing his thing, and they come for Thanksgiving, and they sit down around the table and like.
So you're in Detroit.
In Detroit. So I'm in Detroit, and the guy's like, listen, I want to continue working with you. So I don't have a problem with that. He's like, listen, I told him, listen, I'm not gonna tell, the company that you owe the money to that you're having a hard time. Give me the watch that you're wearing.
Like, the watch right off his wrist.
Yeah, so I said, he tells me, Manny, what kind of watch this is? I said, to be honest with you, I don't know anything about watches. He's like, but I paid $45,000, $46,000.
This is 2 years ago? How many years?
Yeah, 2-3 years ago. So I said, I don't know anything about watches. So he's like, I paid $44,000 or $45,000. I told him, you know what, $46,000, and the bill was $44,000. I took the watch. And I came to 47th Street on a Friday. I seen a Watch King walking, with a camera guy. I'd never been on a camera like that, So the first time I told him, I showed him the watch. He's like, oh, 26,000. I said, what? 26,000.
Guy paid 46.
I said, you stupid. You can see the first video that went viral with me. I was like, I'll give you credit, I'll give you time to pay. That's what jewelers like. They want time. They're like time thieves. They'll sell you, they'll sell a watch COD. They call you. He's thinking about it. It's on layaway. His birthday is not until like August 15th. Like, what is he looking for a watch in Passover, like in Easter? Like, oh, you don't understand. He's making payments. What do you think? It's like all this talk, like I invented that talk, you know what I'm saying? So,
This is the first time you ever got a watch was in Detroit, and you met the watch king on the street.
Yes, I met the watch king on the street the next day, and I ended up selling the watch.
For how much?
For $28,000.
So much below MSRP?
Yes,
I thought the Rolexes
it's not
are
an
worth
MSRP.
more.
It's not MSRP. It's all a lie. This whole
Okay,
thing.
1 second, Manny.
You got to get off this
If
lie.
Rolex has a watch that they charge 22,000,
Yeah.
I thought the whole business is usually 500, 1,000. You could sell it the next day for the same price.
That's not true. There's
Some of them.
watches.
Some
There's
of the hot
watches that you
models.
could buy and walk out of the store and lose 10,000, 15,000. So it's you stay in your lane. Stay in your lane as you call it. So basically that's what happened.
So that was your
So I
first
ended
watch
up,
deal ever.
I ended up selling the watch for $28,000.
So now the
Out
guy
of
is
30
clear?
days.
So now the $44,000 bill
Yes,
is clean?
I paid a bill, so we took a loss. Move on, And you just don't work with the person, or you work with him in a different way, COD base only. So a lady walked in 2 weeks later. She was buying a diamond, and I'm talking to her, and she's like, Manny, this is my dream watch. You think you could get me this watch? I'm thinking like, what kind of watch is this? I talk to everybody, So wait a second, and let me get the picture up. She got the picture up. I see the picture. I said, what? This is the same watch. I told her, how much do you want to pay for the watch? She told me, 47, 48,000. I said, what? I went back to the guy. He still didn't pay me yet,
And get you back to
I told him, listen, I'll give you $2,000 profit. Sell me the watch back. You didn't pay me yet. I'll give you $2,000 right now. We even. You know what he told me? He said, I'm not selling the watch less than 50,000.
Oh my God, did he stiff you?
You understand me? And I went to 10 people, and 10 people told me the same school BS. You hear this?
This was your welcome to the watch business.
This was the welcome to the watch business. Why I'm telling you this? This was the biggest lesson for me.
It cost you $25K.
It didn't cost me nothing, I was just a guy over there, happened to be there, I got the road trip, I got paid for the road, It wasn't about the money. It was about the whole experience. The whole industry is built on lies. The whole industry. From the moment.
But you're in it.
Yes, that's why I'm in it. I do it as a hobby. I do it as a ha hoo hoo. I'm not doing it that's my money. I do other things for money. So this is just I'm just passing time, and I'm working with people. You want, you buy. You don't want, I got a crazy attitude. Thank you for stopping by.
Manny,
So
ever since COVID,
Yeah.
this is a fact. Every 15, 16-year-old kid
Yeah.
thinks that you go to 47th Street and you say, how much is this watch? And you bargain the guy down, and within 20 minutes, you could go to the next guy and you could make money quick.
That's all
because
a
there's
lie.
5 or 6 guys that are putting out videos every single day. They make the industry look
That's
so
all-
enticing.
That's all a lie. The whole industry is a lie. The whole industry, there's people that were buying diamonds and selling diamonds for 50 years. Yes. When the list used to go up, when the list used to go down, there was a lot of movement.
Which list? The Rappaport?
Rappaport, That's another Gneva story, Sammy?
I don't want to get sued by Rappaport. I'm sure it's honest. I'm sure it's a great business. I don't know anything about it.
The whole diamond thing is a whole illusion. It's a lie from the beginning. They got people over there digging
What do you mean?
for diamonds.
The reports are based on the size and the clarity and the cut and what the market is and how rare they are. There's a system.
It's all a lie. The whole diamond.
What do you mean? A 3-carat diamond that's flawless is worth more than a 2-carat. I mean, I'm saying, what's there to know?
It's an illusion. I used to think like that when I was when I just got into the business. I used to think like that. It's a whole
We're bringing education to our viewers.
Yeah.
What's the lie in the diamond business? What is it? Why is it not worth it? If it's $1 million, it's probably going to be worth more money tomorrow. I don't know.
No. See, you don't know where the diamonds come from. Diamonds,
Africa, no?
yeah, diamonds fund war.
Blood diamonds?
I've been there.
There's hechsher. They give hechsherim now on diamonds.
Yeah, so I've been there. I've seen it. I thought that was easy. I'm going to get on a plane. I'm going to take my shots. I'm going to go to Africa. I'm going to go get diamonds. I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to cut it. It's all BS.
What do you mean that diamonds fund wars? Can you please elaborate on that?
Every diamond you're going to buy, it funds war.
Explain.
Somebody died for it. Somebody was a slave for it. Somebody was digging for it. I've seen it with my own eyes. There's a big company called De Beers.
Hold on one second. When somebody digs for diamonds, the same way in New York, people are doing cash advances or selling watches.
That's totally different.
What if people are digging to make money? They get paid probably to dig.
No, they go to villages. It's like more slave labor. You found that like a cash advance, you can make a sale, you can make a broker fee, you could fund, it's a different business. Watches is a different business. But when you doing mining, and you're finding these people from villages, and they just working for food, and 120-degree weather, and
there's no OSHA.
There's no. Well, forget about OSHA. There's no. They think you stole something. They just cut your hand off, cut your leg off, a machete. You never seen the people that run the mine.
Africa.
Yeah.
Till today.
Yeah. It's hidden and secret. But, it's a people that are making. It was a $1 trillion industry. It's all the whole diamond people were funding wars. I'll give you a gun. Too busy killing each other. And they digging and taking as much as diamond. It's all a rock. It's a rock. They cut it to what you make it.
Do you think there's a lot of them out there and they're pretending that there's not?
Of course.
Oh, there's a lot.
There's so much.
And who's hiding them all?
There's a lot of people that have a lot of diamonds. There's a lot of people that have diamonds in the vaults, and now the African countries have become very smart, very educated. And they want to cut it themselves. They want to do it themselves. They want to give the jobs themselves. They want to, they want their GDP to go up, as opposed to some guys coming in and taking it out, plane loads, and treating their citizens. And there's too much corruption and too many generals and people in charge. People profited from it big time.
So what are you suggesting, Manny? You shouldn't buy diamonds?
Only buy fake ones?
I'm not suggesting nothing. You ask me. The diamond business is all a baloney.
But you sell it all day.
You understand me? I sell it, but I tell them it's not an investment, I tell them it's not an investment. And today's prices are very cheap. Can it go down more? No. Because it's
You mean lab or real?
Lab is
worthless.
Lab is a joke. Lab is a joke. It's like, you went to the bathroom, excuse my language. You went in and then you didn't flush, They took a little bit of it and they grew it into a bigger shit, Excuse my language. That's what it is, They take a little thing of the diamond and they grow it into another diamond and they cut it and this and that. If it wasn't labor intensive, it's not worth anything. Lab is not worth anything. The whole thing about lab is...
But lab-made real diamonds worth less.
Yeah.
Because there's more things in the world that look like diamonds.
And if somebody gives a lab stone to a person that are just like getting married, it's not worth anything. The whole thing is a lie. You know what I'm saying? I don't think like women should agree to take a lab stone to get married. I don't think.
Rather get a blood diamond?
No. Diamonds is blood diamonds anyway. But I'm just saying, get a diamond.
See, every diamond's going to be blood diamond.
100%. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Every single diamond you see in the store.
Every diamond is today every diamond is being cut by India, so Indians think like, oh, it's made in India. It's all bullshit. It's all from Africa. nice stones. Everything's from Africa. There's nothing like you're not gonna get. You get junk diamonds in India. The color and clarity is very low.
But gold
quality.
is gold an investment, Manny?
Gold 100% investment.
It is.
Gold is always going to be investment until then synthetic gold is going to come out.
Manny, there's a rumor going around that Rolex only makes 1 million watches a year.
That's not true.
That's been the rumor for decades. I heard it as a kid. And there's much more than 1 million people a year that want to buy a Rolex. There's a lot of new money around the world. The Asian market's huge. So why would Rolex not be one of the best investments? There's not enough of them out there. That's why you. That's why you're in business.
Certain watches.
You're not an authorized Rolex dealer.
Certain watches are an investment. Certain watches are a lie. And then they tell you it's an investment, and then they come out they discontinue something and then bring it back, and then it drops, or they change the reference, and everybody wants the new reference. They don't want the old reference. It's all a game. Like you just think, you just finished, you just think you just finished the Chumash, the 5 books, or you read the Quran, and you read, that's it. You're a champion. There's nobody. Another book comes out. You know what I'm saying? This guy said it like this.
So which watches are an investment, Manny?
The truth, for me, there's no watches or investment. You got to wear it. You got to enjoy it. You got to wear it. You got to enjoy it. You don't put your money in watches. Yeah, you buy a few watches. You buy 4 or 5 watches. You don't buy.
You just said Rolex discontinues a watch and then they bring it back. So yesterday and today, everybody in the world is talking about the Pepsi, the GMT, the red and blue, the Pepsi being discontinued. The price went up $10,000 in one night.
Okay.
So is it not an investment? The guy that bought it last year, it went up 10 grand in one night. It went from 20 to 30K. Where else do you make 10K in one night?
Okay, you finished? There's 100 styles of watches. How long you gonna keep it for? They've been talking about the Pepsi is gonna be discontinued already 5 years. Do you know what it is to hold 5 years? You know what I'm saying? Money costs money. You understand me? It's like saying, you know what? One day I'm gonna get a rezoning in Crown Heights. The Rebbe, the Mashiach is gonna come back, okay? And the 770 is going to be a 100-story building. Okay. It did happen on 5th Avenue. It did happen on Madison Avenue. It did happen on 57th Street. You got to be a macher like Extel Realty. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen. How many blocks is there in the world?
For
you got to get rezoning. It's what you're saying. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to get it done. How many people went bankrupt?
Trying to hold. How many people thought they knew everything? I was going to sell my gold at how does Extel?
5,300.
You're going to sell you all at 5,300 and what happened?
Yeah. And then I said, you know what? Then you got the Eight Sahara, the devil. No, what are you talking about? It's going to hit 6,000. It's going to hit 5,500. The greed kicks in. And then gold went all the way down to $4,000. $4,098 was the lowest in the past 3 months. I'm holding it since January. I'm holding it, and I'm the clown. And you take money from your line of credit. You know what I'm saying? And you paying the interest. You don't think, what? If I would have had the money 4 months, I would have done something else. This is the people that are like, oh, it's discontinued. I made 10,000 on one. How many watches are you gonna hold on to? 5?
What about an antique watch, Manny? Let's say a 40-year-old Rolex. Would you say that's an investment, or still not?
Out of thousands,
some of them are cheap.
Out of millions of watches, maybe you get lucky and run into 4 antique watches that's going to be worth money.
Bottom line, Manny says watches is not an investment. Enjoy it, and that's it.
It's not an investment.
But if you buy a Rolex Submariner, stainless, 41 millimeter, let's say 15, 16K, it's pretty safe. The stainless Rolexes are pretty safe investments, or at least to enjoy it.
The worst that could happen, you get your money back. You get 12,000 back. The world is gonna come to an end. Let's say you're gonna be in Africa in the middle of the desert. Some guy's gonna be interested in the watch. So boom, you're gonna get the watch.
Hold on one second. We have Kahas Publication Society, the Lubavitch publishing house of the most amazing Svarim in the world, and they sponsor the Dvar Torah on the show. This is a beautiful book. Feels like leather, no?
I used to sweep the floors.
In Kahas?
No, I used to sweep the floors at a printing shop.
Oh.
He's a Chabad guy. One of the most one of the most honest people you will ever meet.
Who's that?
His name is Yossi Lane.
Oh.
He's one of the biggest
Print
tzaddiks.
house?
Yeah, he's one of the biggest, hidden tzaddikim in your
Who's
neighborhood.
Mendy Lane?
Probably.
Is his cousin? The guy from Kahas.
You know,
Carroll Street?
The
Print
guy-
House?
The guy in Kahas, his name is Mendy Lane.
I don't know.
Print House?
Okay, we're going to say the Dvar Torah.
On
Wait 1
Johnson
second.
Avenue?
Lane
Like she was
Printing
saying the Dvar
in
Torah.
Brooklyn,
This
What
week
street?
we do...
over there, Flushing Avenue, over there, around there.
Johnson, yeah.
This
Print
week
House.
we do Pirkei Avos from Pesach to Shavuos, and Chabad till Rosh Hashanah we read Pirkei Avos every Shabbos. This week we're going into Perek Gimel.
Show how beautiful the layout is. Show the camera. It's like very easy.
Every time it mentions the name of a Tana or an Amora, it gives you their background, Jewish history. It brings the Rebbe's Biurim from all over, from all tzaddikim. So this week we talk about Mispalel B'Shleima Shel Malchus. Pray for the welfare of the kingdom, even the rule of a corrupt king, like the majority of Jewish kings during the Second Temple era, is better than anarchy. The Sefarno says this: better to pray for a wicked kingdom because anarchy is the worst, where every person is forced to spend his life fending for his very existence. You had some of these experiences. In addition to praying for the welfare of the Jewish government, pray for the welfare of all governments. The Torah likewise mandates that we bring 70 sacrifices during Sukkot for the welfare of all the 70 nations. The Meiri says that. And pray also for the welfare of the divine attribute of Malchus, kingship, which is synonymous with the Shekhinah, the divine presence which accompanies us into exile and protects our nations.
What's the price on this?
Just the Ben Ish Chai mentions this.
Ben Ish Chai,
You
perfect.
bring everybody. Now, if you go to kahat.org, kahatsonline.org, it comes up on Google. You put in Clappy, Clappy.
What about Frank? Am I chopped liver?
They should add that to
Am
the
I chopped
code.
liver or what?
15% off. Great gift item. However, we also want to show you 2 more books that we're promoting that have the Clappy show. Clappy and Frank show 15% off.
Look at this beautiful octaves. We have Kabakov and Kahas on the same
Look
table.
at this.
Clappy.
Ashes Chayil, woman of valor, heroines of our history. Beautiful slipcase. Ashes Chayil divided into 24 of our special Jewish women. Nama, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Leah.
What's the price?
And it's a couple of bucks. And you mentioned Clappy. It's like a beautiful coffee table book. It has art.
Show the display. Show the camera.
Art, beautiful art. And it brings all these 24 special Jewish women with the Pirish on Ashes Chayil. A lot of them, we put them in order of weeks and the Sedra and their yard sites. A beautiful. Now, this book is great for graduation. Girls graduating 8th and 12th grade. Great for bride showers, kalas, and PTAs. You know,
What
if you're
about your
buying
wife?
gifts
Your
for
wife?
your wife, of course. The Ashes Chayil, your own Ashes Chayil. The beautiful
Manny, you married?
I'm married, yes.
15%
Once?
off.
How many times did you get married?
No, we don't get divorced where we come from.
One time. That's it.
And then
3 at once.
people that like light reading, treasure of Hasidic wisdom, hundreds of sayings, beautiful sayings in the world of Hasidus.
Great for speeches, right?
Great
Reference?
for speeches, great for starting a conversation, great for podcasts.
Opening
a treasure of Hasidic wisdom, and it's a beautiful sefer I really enjoy reading, and 15% off mentioning Clappy.
Here we have protein.
You need your energy, you need your protein. CH Butcher. They have the most beautiful restaurant in the world on Troy Avenue in Brooklyn. And they have the deli takeout on Albany Avenue. And then they have the stuff that's on the shelf in all your local grocery stores. Their beef
11 gram.
jerky, barbecue. Which one flavor is this?
Teriyaki.
Teriyaki. Their stuff is all
Manny, are
delicious.
you a beef jerky guy or no? No. Only fresh, only steaks. Where'd you go to steak place, Manny?
I used to work at a steakhouse when I was a kid, so I go to Hapisga a lot in Queens,
Hapiska.
On Main Street.
and Uden Turnpike over there, but off Main Street. Yeah,
Did I mention Wheels to Lease?
No.
If you
did
need a
not.
truck, a car, a sports utility vehicle, a motorcycle, Izzy and Saul from Wheels to Lease. You call up, you say you're calling from the Clappy and Frank show, or you just mention, you don't even have to mention us.
yeah. Try not to buy a motorcycle.
The service, the quality. Moshe, weren't we just on the phone with Saul from Wheels to Lease?
I think it's cool. Clappy introduced 2 sponsors to each other.
Sponsors, and they're getting a truck.
They introduced our party rental sponsor with our
A1
car
Party Rentals,
dealership,
the greatest
so-
party rental company.
So when you
in the
become a
world.
sponsor, we introduce you.
No, we want to make sure
It's a
that
club,
when you're
right,
a sponsor,
Clappy?
you're part of the Clappy and Frank family.
Club. Yes.
Family club. We're talking about mishpucha over here. Family.
I don't know what you're
And
talking about.
one second, people are calling Wheels to Lease now. How much are cars now? $200 to $400
Almost nothing.
in your
Almost
driveway.
free.
In your driveway in under 2 hours, and they get people lines of credit. Not only they get you approved for credit, they're getting people huge lines of credit for all their fleet. Companies call them up. They're like 10 of my workers, my best workers. They want to get them 10 cars. They're in the driveway 2 hours later. Call my friends at Wheels to Lease, Saul and Izzy. Izzy Herman from Wheels to Lease, Saul Hershkup, and all their whole team. They're just the most amazing, incredible team. And A1 party rentals, any type of party rental, you need to put up a tent, a dome, you need 500 chairs. A school called me yesterday, they need 80 benches for the whole entire school for some photo op. I don't know. That's it. Truck's coming next week. A1 party rentals. Manny, where are we holding?
Manny, how does someone make money? If someone says, Manny, give us some advice how to make money, to be able to afford one of your Rolexes. Give us some tips.
You know, for you to make money, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, when I'm going to make money, can I handle the money? You know, you got to ask. You got to ask yourself, and you got to ask, God, when I'm going to make this money, how I'm going to be, how I'm going to act, what I'm going to do. It's very, very important, because unfortunately, before you got the money, you were that guy, greeting, loving, say hi to everybody. But after you get the money, you put a tinted window. You don't want nobody to see you. You move out of the neighborhood. What? Who am I? Do you know who I am? You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm gonna live in the ghetto. When I'm gonna go pray with somebody, everybody gonna know my business. They know I was broke 3 years ago. Today you know who am I today? Do you know who am I today? In my eyes, I say hi to everybody. The success to making money is God cannot give you sometimes for 10 years, test you. Somebody told me, Manny, when am I gonna buy a house? There was a kid in the neighborhood, I got him married.
You got him married? What do you mean?
I got the kid, I made the shidduch. I got him married. I didn't bring him to the district, the Diamond District. I did it through somebody that brought him to the Diamond District. One day I saw him in the street. I told him, "Come here. Are you saving for money?" He's like, "The truth. I got $18,000 in the bank. That's not even my money. That's my wife's money. I'm not making money." I'm like, listen. In every industry, you work to pay bills. And then one day it just happens. After 10 years, you hit it. You hit the gold. Not from stealing. Today, the young generation cannot wait. He has it. I want it now. That way, you'll never make money. Yes, maybe you can make money today, right now. Are you going to be able to make that money all the time? Are you going to be able to save that money? Is that going to be kosher money? Did you do it the right way? I was talking to somebody. Somebody told me, for $10 million, I'm ready to do 5 years. That's the new trend today. I'm going to do a scam. I'm going to make quick $10 million. And that's it. After that, I'm going to go for 5 years. After that, I'm going to live.
That's what someone told you.
Yeah, no. I was on the table having a conversation. We went out for dinner, couples, and somebody tell me that stupid thing.
His life is meaningless.
His life is meaningless because he gave his soul for the money. The people that make money, they're not happy. I have a friend of mine, he ran into big money. He said, you know what, I wish I would never have the money. I wish I would live in a 4-bedroom house. His wife lives in Florida. He works here. His kids, who knows where they are, and it's tough situation.
Did he earn it or just like inheritance or something?
He found it,
What does that mean?
5 years.
I don't know. It's like one of those people, they got money right away. They spend and spend and spend.
Hold on, Manny. You asked for cold Coca-Cola. It's sitting there for an hour. You're not even going to have any to drink?
Did Coke sponsor your show?
You said you needed cold Coke. I got you 2 cans. You didn't even look at it.
I'm looking at it. Don't worry. It's not going to get warm. I'm looking at it. You know, every time I look at it, the guy gets scared. I'm looking at it right now.
Manny, I always want to bring up the topic of Ponzi schemes. How to give some people some suggestions how to avoid Ponzi schemes. How do they know it's a trouble?
Ponzi scheme starts with Geneva. What's Geneva? Thievery. What's thievery? Bad thoughts. What's bad thoughts? We had that in our neighborhood.
1 second. I just want to address the elephant in the room because nobody wants to come on the show to talk about it. What he's referring to is
No,
no. But I want to address the elephant in the room.
There's no elephant.
There was a guy.
I'm the only elephant.
There was a
I'm the
guy.
only elephant in the room.
There was a guy in the Jewish community who was.
There was a guy in our community also. There was a
Wait.
There was a guy in our community. You know, he was a big time macher. You know, and a rabbi in a synagogue with 500 people advertising him. You know, advertising him, and all of a sudden, all of a sudden, this rabbi got a big building. He put up a yeshiva, some radical organization he did. He bought like 10 houses in the block, and everybody asked him, "How this guy sponsors?" I knew right away. What kind of sponsors? What are you talking about? My brother, every 10 years, every 20 years, somebody comes to the neighborhood and wipes the neighborhood out. And people have a short memory. You know, I was across the street. I was across the street in the doctor's house. And this doctor's like, he sees a lot of patients. And his son asks me, "Listen, what do you think about this guy? He's paying 20-something%, and he's talking about this and that." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I'm in the outside world." It's impossible to get those returns. It's impossible. And I said, "Is that the kid that told you that?" I said, "I just seen him. I just seen him in the Super Bowl. He just spent like $75,000 for 2 tickets. And he took a airplane to get there.
Private jet.
And a private jet. And somebody tell me, "Manny, I got a seat for you for 10 grand. I said, "I give you 5. He said, "How many you need?" I said, 3. He said, "I got 4. I said, "Give it to me. I'll give you 4,000 each." He said, "Manny, every time I'm talking to you," I said, 3,500. He said, "But Manny," I said, 3,000. And people look at me like, "Why?" Because I got the seats. I told everybody I'm going to the Super Bowl. I'm going to take a picture with my TV at home, make a Super Bowl party for the kids, and I'm going to sell the tickets and give it to charity. Why do I do that? For what? To flex. I'm not a 2-year-old to flex. All these superstars show up. "Oh, I was in the Super Bowl." My brother, stop with your stupid nonsense.
So you're saying that the flexers are Ponziers?
They're not Ponziers, but they're on that lifestyle. They're on that lifestyle. Like
The Ponzi
they're
scheme
trying to get that
lifestyle.
easy money. All the flexers in my neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? In my neighborhood, they're all, you know what I mean? They're doing some kind of a Geneva. They grew up by a Geneva and they're trying to go legit, but it's impossible. Like everybody knows, like, "Excuse me, yeah, don't come here."
Manny, people from around the world are watching this show. A guy lands in New York,
Yeah.
goes to 47th Street. If he doesn't go to you,
Hold on, I want to.
no. I want to know, how does somebody know who's honest on 47th Street? What are the signs of the stores that you go to know if they're honest?
If you're a street guy, you know another street guy. If you're a thief, you don't want to go to a street guy because he knows what time it is. He's going to scale. He's going to put you on a scale. It's like, he's no good. I had a guy walked in.
Is that an answer?
Hold on. I had a guy walked in. Tell you something. I got a guy walked in. He tell me, "Listen, you know who I am. I just took a private jet. There's that. I'm going to buy." So what do you want to buy? "I want to buy gold pieces." He picked out like 7 pieces. He's like, "I'm going to USDT. I said, "Brother."
USDT?
"Yeah, that's the fake wallet thing, crypto." I said, "We don't take crypto." "What do you mean?" I said, "Can you show me that you bought this crypto for me to take this crypto?" "I never heard of that." My brother, we do business different over here. I work for a living. I said, "You got crypto, right? You can't wire me the money?" Oh, no, I don't do banking, my brother. You're a thief. Someone's going to come, not today, not tomorrow, and 2 years from now. How does the American government work? They want you to get on top. They want you to build a lifestyle. They're not going to come for me. Do you know who I am? I got legit. They're going to come. You're going to build a safe in your house. You're going to put all your stuff there. You're going to have 5 cars in your driveway. You're going to buy a house. Then you're going to buy a ski house in Colorado. Then you're going to buy a house in Miami. You got to flex. You understand me? And all of a sudden, they're going to come knocking. You know when they knock? Huh?
5 a.m.
When God is sleeping. Because it's not even ready to go to a mosque, church, synagogue, because it starts like 6:30. You know who's there? Older. You know who's there early in the morning? Who's there early in the morning? Not the lazy people. The people that work. You understand? But you know who's there in one synagogue in Queens, in particular? I don't want to say. It's going to turn to, we try not to talk bad about people. So, I'm trying to respect you. I'm not going to talk bad. But I'll tell you, all the thieves, do you know why they wake up and go to that place? Because they think God is sleeping, he don't see. But they pray, yo, take care of me. My brother, I'd rather not go, but I'm not going to steal. That's the difference. So how do I know when it's a ganav? How do I know when I see a thief? When I see him, I know it's him. 100%. That's when you know. Everybody's good until they're no good. I like to see my customer. Sometimes I don't want to sell to you. I don't like you. People tell me, why? The guy's a scammer. He calls me, but he doesn't want to show me his face. I'm like, can I FaceTime you? I got this. I got that. I got this. And I know every accent. I speak Spanish. Okay? I speak Russian. I speak Hebrew. I speak any other street language that I need to speak. You understand me? I speak retarded. I could speak like a thief. I could speak like a hoodlum. So I understand right away. I put him on a scale. Nah, it's not for me. Yo, man, where I come from, I pay money. I'm not interested in that lifestyle. What are you going to do? How did you get that money? You killed somebody for that money? You shot somebody for that money? You want me to spend it with me? I'm not interested. I'm not interested.
So you walk away from deals if you don't trust the
100%
guy.
I walk away from deals. All the time I walk away from deals. I walk away from dealers that deal with scumbags. I walk away from deals. Do you know why I walk away from deals? I don't need the headache. Someone's going to come buy my merchandise. If not you, him. If not him, I'm going to look at it. Okay.
So back to the Ponzi scheme. Anyone that offers you too high of a return and flying private jets to Super Bowl, you run.
It's bullshit.
You just run.
It's bullshit. It's a lie. It's Geneva. And you know how many people in our neighborhood fell for it? Rich people. They pay you 1 time, they pay you 2 times, they pay you 3 times. I also fell for it with business. When people pay you,
Have you ever been scammed?
Of course, many times.
Like what?
Many times I've been scammed.
Like fake watches or what?
No, not for you. Know how to tell if fake's real.
My brother, I'm not buying the watch. I'm buying from the person that's selling the watch. Because tomorrow there's a problem with the watch. I don't know the watch. I'm coming to the person. And before I get there, you better have my wire ready because I want to hand deliver it to you. Do you understand me? Before I'm going to get there.
Manny, somebody on 47th Street, I'm not going to say their name. I know you're going to say, do not say the name.
Okay.
Had an issue with another guy on 47th Street.
Okay. Don't say names,
He called him every name under the sun. And it got like 1 billion views. And he called the guy a thief and a ganav and a loser and a liar. And it almost turned into a fist fight. Somebody choked the other guy. What's going on? Why is there so much tension on 47th Street?
Was it staged? You just want some attention?
Whoa. Let me hear. What he has. What's going on there? You can't get control over the place?
Look at that smile.
You know all these guys. They're your best friends.
Listen to me.
Make a seder there.
Listen to me.
Make a seder, Lubavitch.
Listen to me. What do you want me to tell you? He did that whole show. He put the guy out.
It was a show?
He did a whole show. He put the guy out. One. Two, he brought $20 million traffic. He made $20 million that month. He's a genius marketer. Excuse me. He has issues. Personally. Yes, he's my friend. But, one day you see him, he's very sunny. One day you see him, very rainy. One day you see him. So I try not to talk bad about people. I don't talk bad about people. There's very few people I will talk bad about because these people were not going to get off my list. They're always going to be on my shit list. You understand me? It don't matter. You understand me? I choose.
What happened to the guy that got taken down? He disappeared from 47th?
Which guy taken down?
The guy that he accused of selling the 9
No,
carat.
these people.
Where's
First-
that guy today? The guy that he accused of selling
First
the
of
bad
all,
goods.
he never wrote the receipt tracks. You know what I'm saying? He never wrote the receipt tracks. I'm not gonna talk about it. He never wrote the receipt that he's representing. The whole thing went out of proportion. The guy made money. It's a beautiful marketing strategy. Would I do that to put another person down to make money? Me personally, I wouldn't do that because I have to sleep at night with myself. With myself. If I was a thief mentality, which I'm not. If I wasn't a child of God, which I am, you know what I mean? What do you want me to tell you? 99% is lies. The whole social media thing is a whole lie. I never knew about it until 2 years ago.
But you're cashing in on it today.
I haven't made $1 from it.
How do I know about you? I watch you all night. You're on Facebook.
Listen
you're
to
on
me. Before I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I got a sense of humor. I got a way of talking. I got a way of this. I say it how it is, and people like that. I don't know. People.
You don't love, and you said it doesn't bring you a penny.
No, I haven't cashed in a penny yet. I haven't
What do you
yet.
mean? I know about you because you're so famous. I brought my friends to your stores to buy
have
watches. The guy bought 5
Listen to
watches.
me. I have 7 billion views, but I never cashed in on 1 billion views.
What does not
Manny,
cash
what
in
does that
mean?
mean?
One second.
I brought you customers because I
What
knew
is-
you're famous.
What does not cash in mean?
I'm on social media
Yeah.
exactly 9 months.
9 months? That's
Yeah,
it?
9 months. My own account. People used to post me
Gotcha.
in other people's accounts.
And you never got any business from 9 months of being on social media?
Of course, I got business.
Okay.
I was in Morocco this past Passover.
You were in the Morocco program without the matzah?
Oh my God. So a lot of these social media.
And you're hungry now?
I'm not, my
Was there
brother.
really no food?
My brother, listen to me. I will find somebody, put him on a grill, and I will cook him, and I will find a mashgiach to say he's kosher. I will find. You understand me? I will find my way. No, we went to France. You know, we always take the trips, you know, with the family. Like last year, I went to Austria. I went to Rav Shaila, Budapest. I went to Monaco. We do a family trip for 3 weeks. I want to take the kids out. We went to Nice, France.
During Pesach?
Yeah, and we went to San Ramo, Italy, because San Ramo, Italy was like 30 minutes away from Monaco and 30 minutes away from Nice. It was like right in the middle, on the border of Italy. The most beautiful, beautiful program I've ever been on. You know, it's a lot of hit or misses. You know, the year before, I was in Tbilisi, Georgia, Tbilisi. Would you ever think in Georgia, Tbilisi, we're going to go back for Passover? No. You know, we went snow riding on the mountains. During Passover, it was snowing in the mountains. So, you know, this particular trip, we went to France. It was cold. So we decided everything was planned. You know, we went to Monaco, meaning we went to Morocco, went to Casablanca for a day. Then we went to Marrakesh. We showed up at that program. I knew a lot of people in the program. And when I got to the program, I seen the guy that was running the program. And I was...
You're a street guy.
If I would have seen him before, I would definitely not go there. You know, the guy looked like he don't got 2 cents, 2 nickels to pin each other. And I asked the guy, "Hey, how you doing? You got any food over here?" He's like, "What do you mean? It's Passover. We got to take away the chametz and put the thing." And he gave me the whole spiel. So I told my kids, "Yo, I got the guy waiting with the Mercedes truck outside. I found a kosher for Passover supermarket. And I walk in there, and the guy's like, yeah, we're closing in an hour. I said, my brother, do you see a store? He said, yes. There's not going to be a store after me. He said, what do you mean? Because I said, I'm going to rob you. He said, what? I said, yes. I'm going to buy everything in the store. The guy was like, he thought I was the Messiah or something. You know, you walk in there with no yarmulke. It's like, are you even Jewish? I said, depends who you ask, you know, what day of the week. He said, well, are you married? I said, yeah, depends what day of the week you ask, you know. You know, saying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Don't ask those questions. Come Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, you're that good boy in the neighborhood. But during the week, don't ask me. He tells me, didn't you come to a program? I said, yeah. I said, I don't want to break into your store during the holiday. You see this goon outside? He's my driver. He will break the locks and take the whole store. I will walk here. And someone's like 20 blocks away. I will walk here, I told him. And I'm going to break the lock and I'm going to take everything. I said, might as well take everything now. The guy looked at me. He said, are you serious? I said, yeah. He's like, you came to a program and you want to buy everything in my store? I told him, boss, you got 20 cookies, right? The fake cookies. I said, put all the 20 cookies. I said, how many Cokes you got? He said, let me look. You know, I got the Passover because, you know, everybody over there too religious. Like, what? It has to have the stamp. I said, I'll show you the stamp. Let me just get it on the truck first. I bought every Coke that was there, every Coke. I don't drink Coke Zero. I bought the Coke Zero too. The orange, the Pereg, the religious drinks that you know they mix it with piss. I put that in also.
You cleaned house.
When I tell you, I bought everything.
And you knew that you anticipated. You saw the guy. You knew it was trouble.
When I saw the guy, he was, listen, you don't judge people. I try not to judge people. But
you're a street guy.
I got over there. I have a suite. I have a bedroom. I have a big refrigerator. I gave the cleaning lady a few dollars, bought another refrigerator. I bought every cheese that they had. Every cheese, packages of cheese.
You stacked up. You didn't go hungry.
Yeah. Now I get the matzah. And you know the women like, Zzz, you came for a Passover trip and you think there's going to be no matzah? I said, who told you to talk? Put it back. I said, oh my God. I said, I'm taking a box for myself. I don't want to walk to the dining room. I want to eat in bed. I want to eat in my couch. Take one box. I said, listen, let me take 3. I said, you might run into trouble, you know? Don't forget. I said, we're leaving Egypt. The way you buying everything, you're overreacting. I said, let me tell you something. I know. This guy is straight up Geneva. I know. You understand me? I could sense, I could smell
So
a
one
thief.
second. You don't
Listen,
think maybe there was a misunderstanding and the borders
wait, let me.
were closed?
I'll talk to you. Wait, you understand? So now, I took all the cookies. I took all the chocolate spread. I took this. I took.
Oh, your
that.
wife was with you in the store.
Yeah, she was like telling me, "Don't buy this, don't buy that," and I'm like putting everything. You know, mayonnaise. They had 6 mayonnaise left. I took all 6. She's like, "What? What are you gonna do with mayonnaise?" I said, "You never know." I said, "You never know." You know how many 600 people in the program? I said, you never know. I bought jam, apricot jams. I bought this. I bought that. So many things.
Your wife is from your country too?
Yeah, her parents. So
You experienced famine. I mean, experienced, like you said. So
yeah. So now I told her, don't talk. I got this. Now.
you see, man, people don't think a big mogul like you on social media, his wife still, still has a say.
You have to know how to respect people. You know what I mean? She's like, put the matzah back. I told her, listen, what is the matzah gonna bother you? What's the worst that could happen? You're gonna leave the matzah for somebody to eat it? They're crackers. What is the matzah gonna do with you? No, put it back. So you know what I said? I'm gonna put it back. And then I seen the salmon, like the lox. I took like 15 of them. She's like, 15? I said, yeah, in case there's going to be no food. every day I know my kids are gonna eat. I bought cereal. She's like, I bought Bamba. I bought
then what
this.
happened?
I bought that.
Okay, then came Passover.
She's like, I'm not carrying nothing. I said, you're not gonna carry nothing.
You got the driver.
You know, I said, I got the driver. And you know what? She's like, I think you overbought. I think you overbought. She's not a bad person, you know? She was just like, you know, like.
Being conservative.
I said, let me take
Like,
vegetables.
who goes to a program and buys
Fruits.
food?
I bought fruits. I bought vegetables. I went to the other supermarket. I filled it up. You know, I bought some apples, pears. Like, I went in a mode, you know? I said, you know what? Maybe I'll buy fish, you know? Branzini I saw tilapia, I saw this one. I said, maybe I'll buy fish and then we'll grill it, you know? I'm gonna find somebody who's gonna grill it for me during Chag, you know? It's just like, what are you talking about?
And what happened?
And what didn't happen?
Brother, I went to shul. I seen everybody outside talking already. All the serious, like, there was like one family of cash advance family. And this people, they spend, when I tell you they spend, like, when I tell you they spend so much money getting there, they came like, I don't know, like 40 deep. And everybody got a different room, 40 people. And this guy, you know, he comes for money, you know, and he told me, Manny, you know, he met me. He's like, yeah, you say you know me. As you know, I try to be good to everybody. I talk to everybody. He said, what do you think about the food? I said, to be honest with you, I don't know. I bought grape juice. I bought the orange, I bought the grape juice. And everybody's like, listen. The supermarket is like, listen. And then as I was walking out, this lady walked in. She's like, oh, I'm from Paris. I live in Marrakesh. I'm a real estate developer. I said, can I help you? She's like, can you give me 2 Cokes and a cereal and a chocolate spread? And what else do you have that doesn't exist? And 1 cookie. I said, you know what? I'll give it to you for free.
In the store?
Yeah, I'll give it, because I took everything. I packed it in the car. She walked in.
She wanted.
She's like, listen, I live in Marrakesh. I don't know where you're from. You bought everything. I said, listen, I'll give it to you. She's like, take a daram. I said, keep it. You know, I said, you're a smart person. Keep it. She's like, everybody was challenging me. You know, when I came to the program, everybody was like, this guy's an idiot. Everybody was telling me, like, all these, like, right now, all these, like, social media superstars that think they're going to get their money back. They ain't getting nothing back. You know? They want to sue Besdin, this, that, all of a sudden. So I had the 2 cart guys take it all the way to the room. It's like literally like 6 blocks. So they're pushing it. Everybody's like, what? You got Coke? You know, this one Ashkenazi guy from Belgium is like, listen, can you give me 2? I said, listen, I don't know about 2, but I give you 1. I told him, hide it. He's like, what do you mean? I said, because there ain't going to be no Coke. You know? I said, breakfast tomorrow, don't bother me. I said, 11:30, I'm having a kiddush. He said, Manny, I'm coming to you. I love you. He's some big dog. You know, he's doing business. He lives in Dubai or some. He's from Belgium. Like, really good people. Like, I don't know. You know, the Ghanavs, the thieves, they find the best people. This one guy lives in Boca Raton. House on the water. He decided to come to the program with no food. Looking at the desert, I'm like, you stupid. I said, you left your mansion in Boca Raton, house on the water with a yacht, to come to desert to look at these animals on the camel, and this guy is gonna break us. He's like, what do you mean? I got 4 rooms. I'm like, my brother, you could have 10 rooms. If you ain't eating and you ain't gonna have no Seder, you ain't gonna have shit, you know? So I was like blabbing away, you know.
You were like Joseph in Mitzrayim. You were stacking up the food before. You knew it was coming.
Yeah, so you know what? The first night came, and it almost never left. This one guy was in our room. He's like, I am like, you know, he's a drinker before. Now he stopped drinking. He's sober, 2.5 years. Yeah. He's like, I need a grape juice. He started screaming, some lawyer guy. He started screaming. I seen the situation. I was like, yo, what you need? He's like, I need a grape juice. I said, I think I got a grape juice. Now I have to walk back like 6 blocks. I'll get there 6 blocks. I tell him, is this good? He's like, I'll kiss you right now. You know, I love you. Now we come back. As I'm coming back, kids are crying. So what happened? She's like, my kids don't have anything to eat. I don't know what to do. It was a shit show. So now I'm like,
did it get violent or no?
What?
Did it get violent?
Yeah. People were bugging out. So listen, I said, what happened? So now I go back to the room. Don't forget, everybody's waiting for me for the Seder, you know? I go back to the room, and all of a sudden, she's like, oh, can I have a bamba? And can I have this? And can I have cereal? I'm like, yo, are you stupid? She like, my baby, I need milk. So I bought a lot of milk, Chalav Israel milk. I stacked it up, 10 milks, you know? People thought I was crazy. They seen all the milk. I told her, here, take one milk, take one cereal, and don't come back here. You know? I told her, don't come back here. Don't come back, you know? And she doesn't understand because I already see through the guy. Now come the Seder. The guy announced, there's no matzah. Oh, my God.
2026, a Pesach Seder with no matzah.
Oh, my God. And my wife looked at me. Don't forget, on the holidays, I'm married officially, you know. She looked at me and she tells me, you're such a mamzer. You know everything. You knew, right? You knew. I said, yeah, but you didn't let me. So now everybody's looking for matzah. So, everybody's looking for matzah.
What was the price? A Rolex for a box of matzah?
No. I don't.
He came back.
No. Listen. No.
He made more money.
So now,
selling matzah
now I
than
tell
all
the guy,
the Rolex
listen to
in
me.
the-
Now I tell the guy, listen. So now I told my wife, I told my wife, I'm like, yo, you see, you didn't let me buy the box. She's like, how the hell do I know that they don't have matzah? I said, I just went to the room already 3 times. This is going to be the 4th time I'm going to go to the room to get a matzah. By the time I come back to the Seder table, there was only 3 matzahs in my hand. 22 people were looking at me, and there was 3 matzahs. By the time I was walking back, can I have 2? Can I have 1? I have to make hamotzi with 2, with the afikoman in the middle. Like, I said, yo, don't bring your Jewish problems to me. Don't bring your Jewish problems to me. I have to break the afikoman. I got to eat a kazayat. I said, yo, my man, do you know we're in a war zone right now? What kazayas are you talking about? Now he's telling me halachically, if you eat this and you do this and you do that. I told him, listen, boss. I told him, are you okay? Are you friend with yourself? I told the guy, are you friend with yourself? Have you looked yourself in the mirror? He's like, no. I was like, there is no matzah. You idiot. He's like, what do you mean? I said, you didn't hear the news? He's like, no. He's like, how could be no matzah? I said, there's no matzah. So,
did you stay to the end of Pesach or you left?
when I left, the night that I left,
You left.
I went to London. I was out, and people had to stay there for Shabbos.
Wait, you went after the first days?
No.
He stayed.
I stayed. What, I
You
had
stayed the whole week?
Yeah, I had a whole program already. I paid for the drivers. I had scenery. The
So
kids
what
wanted to go
was
to the
missing?
desert.
Just matzah?
Matzah came at the end of the second Seder? What happened?
Boo. You finished? Stop talking.
Okay.
Everybody stopped talking. It was a disaster shit show. Everything was missing. But you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy that it happened. Because the first night was a disaster. I went to sleep at 2:30. I was putting out fires. People were fighting, screaming. People spend a lot of money. Flights and drivers and food and people, clothing, and people spend a lot of money. They go all out for Passover, programs. They got there. It was a disaster. It was such a shit show. Kids and families. There was no Seder.
Was there food? Regular food they had?
No, what they had? They had like 3 salads, and everybody's like, "Who's gonna take it?" There's like 4 pieces of chicken that was frozen that they unfroze and put it out, and then everything that they had, it was a disaster. But you know what? I was very happy
Why?
because I learned when I was a kid. When we left Mitzrayim, when we left Egypt, everybody was complaining. And Moses didn't know what to do, And his kids, after 3,300 something years, since we left Mitzrayim, since we left Egypt, we're still complaining. Saying, how are we gonna eat? How are we gonna eat? How are we gonna eat? Where are we gonna get the food? How does Moses gonna feed all this people that left Mitzrayim? Why did you take us out? Okay, we were slaves, but we were still living. You know what I'm saying? It was the same thing. I've seen it live. How people act. How people
Under pressure.
How people are rich, but they act poor when they fall in the situation. And you know what? God tests you. God tests you. He tells you, listen, how much money you have. It could happen in any program. It could happen to any program. And God tests you. And you know what?
That's funny. I thought last week we were done with the Pesach Hotel.
It's
episode.
never ending. It's a never ending story.
Here we get live
You know
on
what?
the ground.
And you know what? That's why Moshe Rabbeinu. That's why Moses
Can I
came
just say
twice.
something? When I spoke to you today, and you said, "Oh, I know all about the Passover program," I thought you watched my episode last
No.
week. You were on the program.
Listen, there was a lot of disaster programs, but this one was out of control. But you know what? My kids didn't complain because they learn how to survive with what they have. It's very important. You teach your kids survival mode. You have to teach your kids how to survive.
Man, you still live in Queens?
Yeah.
You didn't move out to some fence?
No,
Manny, are you going to let your kids continue in the jewelry watch business?
no, but I don't.
No? Straight up no?
No, but I will support anything they do. I'm not going to tell them to come into this business.
How old are they?
My son is going to be 13, and
yeah.
my other son is 16. They're still in school, but they do business. They sell memorabilia, they sell sports cars, they flip,
Sports cars a big business.
Yeah,
Man, what's your opinion about cash advance?
cash advance.
What's your opinion about the business?
Listen, if you do it legit,
I met a guy in shul today.
Hold on. Could you
and
let him
he said he's
Bro,
very honest.
yeah.
Could you let him finish?
Yeah.
What's your opinion about it? I know it's a very touchy subject for many.
There is three type of cash advance people. There's people that have been doing it for years. Like 20 years ago, I used to do cash advance in the street. I used to lend money. I used to have 3 collectors, and I used to get my money without contracts. It was text message and this and that. We used to work like that, you know. People needed money, businesses, you know, people were doing this, people were doing that, all type of businesses, you know. And I was working with only Spanish people and black people. And I wasn't lending big money. I was lending, you know,
500,000?
no, I was lending up to 20 grand, 15 grand. But you know what? The people that are gonna pay you, they're gonna pay you. The people that are gonna steal from you, they're gonna steal from you. But you know what? Over the years, I got paid. I got paid 85% because I didn't do it to mistreat people or take advantage of people.
What did you
I
charge?
did it. I was charging 2 points a week, but it was short term. It wasn't like long term. And the people that left, they paid. The people that didn't pay back, they paid for the other ones. You know, it wasn't like my car broke down, my refrigerator broke down, and I need money for this, and you have to restock my inventory. I'll pay you back. So some people would, you know, some people I wouldn't even charge. You know,
Second
because
type. Second type of cash advance people.
They're
To the street
in a Geneva business.
Stealing business.
Yeah. Why? Because they promise people they're gonna refinance. They don't refinance, and they're gonna tell people, oh, you pay off this loan on a high interest rate. I'm gonna give you a lower interest rate, and they don't give the loan. And then some people they're just like, you know, they put a judgment on the business where they, you know, hijack their bank accounts, and then, you know, all the receivables get stopped. And even, you know, people, you know, a lot of people are known, you know, these type of people that hijack the company and hold the company, and then they stack them, and then they put them in, you know, bankruptcy and try to take over the business. There's a lot of things in the business, a lot of fake names, fake accounts, fake buyer. You know, this is a lot of unnecessary Geneva. Those are the young people that come in that want to destroy the business. And then you got the older guys that are established, that did it when they were kids, that did it when they were brokers, you know, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 15 years ago. And what happened is the greed gets to you. And when the greed gets to you, it gets to you. And then you get crazy lawsuits, and then you get, you know, attorney general involved, and you get lawsuits from different states. The paperwork is wrong, you know, 3, 4 people are in one deal, and they want their money back, and they promise the investor money. It's not even their money. So
You recommend kids getting into cash advance or not?
a lot of kids are in cash advance, but whoever gets into cash advance is a problematic is a problem, you know?
So
Whoever
you
gets
don't
some
recommend
cash-
the business to people.
Listen, if you do it right, you can make a lot of money. The whole thing is doing it right.
How do you do it right?
Be patient. But the young generation, they want to become millionaires overnight. They want to become millionaires overnight. It's not going to happen. And any business you're going to open up, you know, overnight they're millionaires walking around, have fun deals, my brother. You don't find nothing. 90% is illusion. 10% is the truth. 90% is lies. Because there's one person holding the book.
1 second.
There's one person holding the book. You know what I mean? So like one office could have 70 books. He put you in business. He put you in business.
1 second. I met a guy in Shul today. He told me he's very honest in the cash advance business. He doesn't make as much money as some of the young kids that are just coming in like animals. But he told me as follows. He said that people that have a good book of business, they go to the banks, they get loans. He says a lot of the times the guys that are coming to the cash advance guys are a bunch of thieves and crooks. So if you don't act back like a thief and a crook, they'll eat you for lunch. You have to be tough with them.
Listen, if you think that way, you shouldn't do no business. If you think that way, you're not a human being. If you think that way, look, you know, you're Lubavitch, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. You're Satmar or you're also Lubavitch?
Hungarian, but Lubavitch, yeah.
You're Hungarian Lubavitch?
Yeah, half Hungarian, yeah.
You're Satmar. Stop lying. So he's Satmar. And now he's Lubavitch because, you know, the Rebbe, you know, gave him a kick and told him get back to work, get back to religion. So now he's like, oh, I'm Lubavitch. Shut up, you Satmar. Anyway.
Again.
Actually,
Yeah.
first time you got called Satmar probably in your life.
Yeah, I know. He's been called
He does
before.
get along with the Satmars, and now it's all making sense.
He gets along with
father's
everybody, but let me tell you something. If you ever been to Medjugorje, okay, what's Medjugorje? Who's
Baal Shem
Medjugorje?
Tov.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait. What, your mother gave birth to you in 5 months?
Shh.
What are you in a rush to come out? Wait, I'm talking. I don't know what his clappy came out of.
Even though you're a Mashkin, they like to hold the microphone.
Oh
I
my
love
God!
It.
Oh my God! No, wait. If you go to the Baal Shem Tov, you know, I've been there at least 10 times plus. 10 times plus. And you know, today they have a big Achanasat Orchim. They built a big building with a mikveh. I used to go to the mikveh when it was ice cold in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if if people that watch this, they'll be like, "What? You been to that place in the middle of nowhere? You can't see nothing in a farmland. You're like, you're scared. Like if anybody finds you, you don't come out. You ain't coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like the old mikveh. It was like 30-minute drive, 20-minute drive, and like you needed a truck because the potholes and navigation doesn't even know where it is. Like, can you imagine if Israelis don't know where you at? You got a problem. Ways they don't know, you got a problem. So, when you go to Baal Shem Tov, they got the whole family tree. The father of Hasidus, right? The Baal Shem Tov's father, Hasidus. Lubavitch came out of there. Satmars came out of there. You got all beautiful, Hasidic, they have their own way. They have their own minhagim, Our city also had our own minhagim. What's a minhag? Tradition. We weren't married out. We weren't allowed to marry some cities because some cities, their wives didn't wait for their husbands to come back from war. So what does that mean? You could tell for yourself. If you know halacha, if a wife doesn't wait for her husband to come back from war and gets married, there's an issue, So,
Man, how many phones do you have?
I got a few phones. Don't worry about how many phones I got. Worry about yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's strong halachas everywhere. You know what I mean? If you learn, Hashem's books, you learn Torah, and you learn the beautiful Talmud. In every city they got their own minhagim. They got their own tradition. So it's very important that it comes to Baal Shem Tov, then comes to other people. So what do you want to say? I like him, I don't like him, I like him, I don't like him. Can't. Because we have one leader and everybody came out of there. So I don't care who you are. Me, I met the Rebbe. I spoke to the Rebbe. The Rebbe touched me. Okay, it wasn't in English, it was in Russian. It doesn't matter. You understand me? the Rebbe had a vision already that the Russia was going to collapse. Before Russia collapsed, he built soup kitchens, he built synagogues, underground, he built underground movement before it even happened. You understand? That was the Rebbe. You know, I went to a supermarket that I never even knew there was a Rebbe was involved. After I found the guy, after 10 years, I ran into him in a boardwalk in Brighton Beach. He told me, I told him who funded everything. He told me the Rebbe. He told me the Rebbe. So Rebbe was a part of a lot of beautiful things. Rebbe was a part of people not starving to death and dying. You know, and the Rebbe was a part of, you know, he could talk to you in any language. You know, he was Hashem's
You know, they said the Rebbe was involved in starting food stamps.
I don't know.
Shirley Chisholm, she was a congresswoman or something, and the Rebbe spoke to her about there's extra food that they should make a supplement thing. That's the legend going around.
Yeah, so
Does it shock you?
No.
Lubavitcher Rebbe, they say, started food stamps.
Listen to me, Lubavitcher Rebbe, like Chabad today, Lubavitcher Rebbe was everywhere in Russia, everywhere in the world. He didn't care about communism. He didn't say to he didn't tell his students, cut your beard, hide your tzitzis, don't wear a yarmulke. They came out looking like gangsters. You know, I think the sixth family in New York, you know, is Chabad. You know, today, like, the 5 families don't exist. You know, so, you know, they're number one. You know, and I you know, when I used to work with the Italians, they tell me, you know, Manny, you know, I want to tell you something. These guys, I don't know what they're doing. Every Friday he used to come around. Every week, the guy used to walk in, and he said, "You Jewish?" He said, "Why are you asking me that question?" You know, it's a hardcore Italian guy. He said, "You Jewish?" I said, "Yo, Anthony, leave the guy alone." Anthony, leave the guy. No, I want to ask, do I look Jewish to you? You don't see the cross over here? Do I look Jewish to you? And I used to tell the guys, yo, what are you looking for? He'd tell me, you Jewish? I said, why are you asking? He said, you want to put on tefillin? I'd tell him, but I'm not bar mitzvah. He said, you working here, you're not bar mitzvah? Shut up. I said, yeah, don't talk over here. Hey, Anthony, tell me, what do you want with these Jewish kids? I said, nah, I was just asking them, you know, what is this? And I was learning my bar mitzvah pasha, you know.
You were 12.
I was 12 years old. I was learning my bar mitzvah pasha.
You were working in a store.
I was working in a junkyard. You know, I was working in a junkyard. Yeah, in Queens, in College Point over there, with some big people. You know, no names, big people. You know, no names, big people. And I ran into a lot of good people. You know, and I just tell you, everybody's good until they're no good. There's still a lot of good people in every religion. In every race, there's a lot of good people. They don't mean nothing bad. They just don't understand, you know? So, the kid tells me, oh, you know, now he wants to schmooze with me, you know? This guy went up telling me about the Parsha. I told him, boss, in 3 weeks, it's going to be my bar mitzvah. He said, what, 3 weeks? Oh, that's Balascha. Oh, you want I read it to you? I said, this guy's crazy. I said, listen, I know it already by heart. He tell me, you know your bar mitzvah parsha by heart? I said, yeah. I got a photographic memory. I know that by heart. He tell me, he was shocked. The kid was shocked. He's like, how do you know the bar mitzvah parsha by heart?
See, now I know why he acts Italian, because he grew up in the Queens with all the mobsters.
I told the guy, listen, I know the bar mitzvah parsha. He tell me, in 3 weeks it's going to be Baal Lascha. He said, no. You know, this Jewish kid had a chutzpah. You tell me no. And Anthony's like, what do these kids want from you? You know, get back to work. I said, listen, don't worry. So I walked them out and I told them, you know, I never forget. I told him the first, you know. I told him, he's like, so you're going to tell me what's you know it? He said, you want, I come and teach you? You know, they don't make people like they make Chabad. Yeah, everywhere there's Jews, everywhere there's honest Jews, there's Chabad. They
You
don't
know my
make-
friend? You know my Chabad guy on 47th Street?
Yeah, no,
You know Chaim?
I know Chaim. Yeah,
The best.
yeah, I know. Everybody's
Chaim
good.
Dre.
Yeah, he's good. He's on 48th Street. He's not on 47th.
He's off 47th. You stop by his Chabad house?
Brother, you just made a. You know what I'm saying? He's on 48th Street.
You go to his place?
I'm gonna go next time.
He's the best.
You know, I've been to the Chabad house in India. You know?
India, wow.
Which
Yeah,
guy? Yisrael?
when they passed away, when they got killed.
Before the actual guy.
Yeah, I went to go look for diamonds.
In
Read the
Mumbai.
cover. Read the
Yeah.
cover. Rabbi Gavriel and Rivka Holtzberg.
Oh, my God.
This Sefer was sponsored for them.
Wow,
What are the chances?
it's crazy. See how the small world? Everybody could walk in and out, and they'll make you food in the middle of the night.
In Mumbai.
Yeah, and they were in. It's like in the middle of Baghdad, where they're from. I'm talking about. You know, it's like I couldn't believe that they were there. No security, open door. You know, today you have to, go in and give you a passport. I've been there after. I've been there after it happened. Somebody donated a kitchen and this and that.
For the jewelry business.
And yeah, I went there looking for diamonds in India.
My classmate's the rabbi there now.
Oh yeah?
Yisrael Kozlovsky, you know?
No, I don't know. I didn't see him because it was the middle of the night. He had some shliach doing chicken nuggets for me, chicken cutlet. You know what?
Before you were famous.
No, I'm not famous. I don't know what you're talking about.
Man, when
know-
you went on the Pesach program, how many people recognize you from social? Half?
A lot of people.
Half?
A lot of people.
Half or a little more?
A lot of people. A lot of people. So it's very important.
So you're only famous for 3 years.
I'm not famous.
Yeah, not famous.
Well, the guys that owed him money 10 years ago know exactly who he is.
I'm not famous. Believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? Believe it or not,
Yeah.
a lot of people that know me, they know me. I'm not in the Geneva business. I had a lot of falls, I had a lot of downs, but I always made up, I've lost a lot of good people around me,
How'd you lose them?
They were, a lot of backstabbers.
Oh, so they weren't so good. You
know,
lost good people. They're not good.
Yeah, they were good until
They were good.
They were good,
until they seen money, and money changes people. The one
Does it
thing
change them or brings out who they are?
no,
It's like alcohol.
it takes out the Vildachaya in them. You know what I'm saying? When people make money, they become animals. That's why in Chabad they dress the same, they look the same, they try to be this. The whole Chabad culture is different. The whole Hasidus culture is beautiful. Why? Because you could have, okay, so you wear a watch, you have a nicer home, but at the end of the day, you have one Rebbe, you have one God to answer to, and the money doesn't. And a lot of the people, the money doesn't get to them.
It's very interesting. Chabad rich people, the money doesn't affect them like other
No,
communities.
like I ran into a guy in London, a very, very wealthy Chabadnik guy. I don't even know his name. He saw me in the street and he told me, "I know who you are." I said, "I know who you are too." He said, "You know me?" I said, "Yeah, I know you." I said, "You're holding half of the community up with food."
I think I know who this guy is.
Nah, you don't need no names. And the guy look at me, tell me, "I know who you are." When you see a tzaddik, you could recognize a tzaddik. When you see a big heart, you could recognize a big heart. Because the way he talks to you, the way he gives you a hug, he don't know you. Like, I met him in the street. It's like, "That's you, right?" I said, "I don't know. I could be everybody, He's like, no, that's you. Why I'm telling you this, and I want the younger viewers, your viewers to see, don't change. Don't ever change. Be the same humble person before you had the money and after you have the money. Don't ever change of who you are. It's the most important thing. Because, when Moshe Rabbeinu came down to give the Torah, and look what people were doing. They're worshiping Avodah Zarah. They couldn't wait. They were complaining. He forgot about us. I told that to my kids. It was the biggest lesson. I was happy that it was a nuclear bomb in the place because I don't care. The food don't make me. You know what I'm saying? The food don't make me. I'm going to figure it out. I went to the kitchen. I spoke with the guy. I told him, boss, I'm going to be back in an hour. Prepare me something nice. You understand me? I don't know these people. I'm not from them cities, you know? I could only represent for me and the people in my room. So, you know, they come out with crazy food. They're like, where did you get that? My brother, they made it for me. I went to my room. I got big eggplants, you know, because we're big eggplant people. And I put mayonnaise, I had baba ganoush. I put it in my matzah. Everybody looking. I'm like, and I was looking at a corner because I don't like when people look at me eat, you know? Like everybody's walking around like a zombie. And then the owner of the program are laughing at people, you know? And every time like he would walk in, how's everything? Like
Were they slaughtering animals in the backyard?
No. So what happened was he came up with another gimmick. He's like, you know what? You know, if you give us $1,000 for a sheep, you know, the sheep, it's like 100 dirham, you know? It's worth nothing. It's like $22 or some shit like that. You know, if you give it a you know? Don't worry. We're going to cook it for you and we're going to give it to you. My brother, I don't trust no hashgacha like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't do carbonas like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't do carbonas. And you have to...
They had a real shochet there? or what?
Yeah, they had a real shochet. I don't know what kind of knife he used. Where we come from, we don't trust nobody. We have our own shochet. We have our own knife. We have to check. Somebody has to inspect the shochet. You know what I'm saying? They got to be a mashgiach
And
on top of the
your
mashgiach.
kids go to Jewish schools?
Yeah.
Which one?
My son goes to Jewish public school.
Jewish public.
Yeah. A Jewish public school.
In
It's
Queens?
a Jewish school, but it's like a public school. As long as you have a pulse and you pay full tuition, you know, you're accepted. You know what I'm saying? What do you want me to tell you? You know what I'm saying? But this whole yeshiva thing and paying for tuitions is destroying people. It's destroying Am Yisrael. It's destroying
People
the people.
aren't having that many kids.
People not having kids because it's $30,000 to go to high school.
So what do you suggest?
I went to open house. The guy saw me. He's like, listen, come here. I want to talk to you. True story. So I said, you want to talk to me? He's like, yeah. He said, do you know how much is high school here? I looked at him. I said, out of all people, you're going to pick me? You dumbass? You know? He said, do you know how much is high school here? I said, okay. He says, 28,000 plus transportation plus food. I said, okay. He said, I just want to let you know. I looked at him, I said, because maybe I had a folding yarmulke, you know, maybe I had a folding yarmulke on, you know. She's like, oh. My wife is like, you see, he had the folding yarmulke. I said, what my folding yarmulke got to do with this guy? You know? What does my folding yarmulke got to do with this guy, you know? I said, did you see how he acted like a Vildachaya? And he's supposed to be some rabbi / educator. You understand me?
He's saying he judged you for not someone who wanted your kid in that school.
I said, okay. I told him, you know what? You finished? And I told him something crazy. I shouldn't have told him that, but it's my street, you know?
What'd you tell him?
You don't want to know.
I want to know.
It's not for...
It's R-rated.
It's not for...
Public
you know what I'm saying?
consumption.
I told him something so bad that he will never forget me. He asked me, what's your last name? I grabbed him by his neck. I told him, listen to me, boss. I said, I will not send my kids to the school. You know? And I had a problem also. That's a high school. My son, high school in Manhattan, some fancy school. I don't need fancy. I told my son, you're going to go to a small school. They're going to teach you how to be a mensch. And his principal in the school is when I came to America, he was my second grade. You know, we went to second grade together. He was a small kid. He's next to me. You know, his name is Rabbi Kurtz. You know, in high school, and David Kurtz. You know, I went to second grade with him. He's my son's principal. And Rosh Hashiva of the school, Rabbi Zlotnick. He's my chavusa in school.
In Queens.
Yes, and went to big yeshiva.
Which yeshiva?
Whatever, I went to good yeshiva.
So, Clappy, two things you want to do. Let's see where he comes from. What's yeshiva?
No,
Two secrets.
you know what I'm saying? I went to good yeshiva. So, you know, I
Could you
wanted...
print T-shirts that say Vildechaya? I love the way you say it. Instead of Mazalito, we'll have Vildechaya.
You understand me?
Vildechaya is much better than Mazalito.
Yeah, so basically, that's the situation.
Vildechaya.
So, you know, I you know, when my son was when I was looking for elementary school to send my kids to, you know, my first son, David, it's crazy. So I met this, some Kabbalist, and I went to get a bracha from him, you know, to get a blessing from him. He told me, listen, you know, he tells me, you're going to get engaged in 2 months. In 3 months, you're going to get married. He said, I'm going to make a kiddush, you know. I'm going to make your chuppah. I laughed at the guy. I said, you stupid. Something wrong with you. You're sick in the head. He said, all right, no problem. He said, you know, your wedding is going to happen in Jerusalem. I said, what? I'm going to get married in Israel. I don't want nobody here. I got family. I got 1,000, 2,000 people's going to come to the wedding, but I'm not getting married here. I'm getting married in America. I said, don't worry. A real makubal.
What was his name?
I can't tell you that. A real
Three
makubal.
secrets. Okay.
How long are we filming for?
You know what I'm saying?
You told me you were in a rush. You got to do it in under an hour. I think we're here like 2.5 hours. How long we go?
2.
About 2?
Yeah.
Okay,
Were you in a rush?
No. I'm glued.
go.
So, you know, and that's what exactly happened. You know? He told me another thing. He said, you know,
Man, bring your mic closer.
yeah,
I'm
he told
afraid
me
it won't
another
come.
thing. He told me another thing. He told me, you know, I was a big believer in Jewish education, and I was learning. I was in yeshiva. I was in a kollel. So I didn't have kids for 5 years. He said, when you're going to get married, you got to be mentally ready not to have kids right away, because you're not going to have kids right away.
Is the guy still living, this guy?
Hold on. I
He's
got
still
up.
living?
Yeah.
Get
You
me
don't want to say his name?
Get me a meeting with this guy.
Listen, it's a big time makubal. I got up. I said, you know what? You lied to me about my engagement. You lied to me about my wedding. And I said, now you tell me that I'm not going to have kids for 5 years? Are you stupid? Who the F you think you are? I grab him.
Oh, God.
You know? And the guy that took me there, he regretted. You know, he's like, listen, you can't act like that.
But you said he was right or he was wrong? You said he was right about the engagement wedding.
He was right about everything.
So why'd you say
it
he
was
was
the same
wrong?
day.
He's telling him on the spot all these things are going to happen,
gotcha.
and that he's
And
not
I'm
gonna
like,
have kids right away.
I'm not gonna handle this stuff. Like some guy I don't never met in my life. He
Tell
tell
him
me,
you're
you
not
know
gonna
what,
have kids.
come.
Yeah.
He's talking to me like all weird. I'm like, boss, you don't know me. He's like, I know you. He tells me, I know you. He's like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. He's like, he tells me you gotta stop giving tzedakah.
Stop giving stuff.
Yeah. So which rabbi ever gonna tell you that? Stop giving tzedakah. He's like, you don't know how much money you're giving tzedakah. You have to write it down. So he's like, because you don't write it down, you over giving tzedakah is also gonna be a problem for you. Halachically. I said, what the flip? I said, my brother, I'm partners with God. You know what I'm saying? I take care, somebody comes and this and that. I have a lot of crazy stories about power of tzedakah. So I told him like, and it happened. It happened. And we didn't have kids for 5 years. And the 4th year, my wife was like, listen, I heard about this special place called Uman, Rosh Hashanah. I said, here we go with this bullshit, Okay, and what I gotta do? She said, listen, I'm gonna pack you food. I said, he's like, I'm gonna pack you food. I said, okay. I'm gonna pack you food. I said, and you're
That's
gonna
squishy pop.
you're gonna go. Yeah.
Ew.
Ew. He said, I'm gonna pop your food. You're gonna go to Uman for Rosh Hashanah. I said, yo, you lost your mind. I'm gonna go talk to somebody that's not here for 200 years. What I'm gonna say? I said, why would I do that? He's like, no, a special person over there. Maybe you need some, I said, I have emunah. I believe in God. I believe in helping. What do I need to go speak to somebody from 200 years? So I go over there. She packed me 1 suitcase of food. Same guy, Shlomi. He promised me the room. It's not like today where they got hotels. You know, I'm going back 16 years. No, 16? Yeah, my son's going to be 16, so 17 years I'm going back. So I get over there, and there's like 22 people in the room. There's no hotel, no nothing. There's like 1 shower, 1 bathroom. People are like hanging out on the floor. So how you going to call, it's Erev Yontif, how you going to call like this guy? I'm like, yo, where you at? So what happened? That's the best place to stay. I was like, you know, my brother, there's 22 people in the room. And I don't even know that. Listen, what happened? So he's like, I got you a place. I bought you a ticket for the mikveh. So I get over there, Erev Yontif, I get on the mikveh line. You know, it's like maybe 12,000 people at the line. I said, what is this for? For food? You know? It's cold, you know? People got the towel, and I'm like, what is this for? It's like, for mikveh. I said, for mikveh? I said, I've never been to the mikveh, you know? So they told me, go to the mikveh. I said, I've never been to the mikveh. What am I going to do in the mikveh? I don't like naked people walking around, you know? He's like, what do you mean? You never been to the mikveh? I said, no. I said, as a kid, maybe, you know. I said, no, I'll never go to the mikveh. It's like, crazy? Everybody walking naked. He's like, yeah, you go to the mikveh. Spiritual, you clean yourself. I said, boss, don't tell me things. So now I'm walking 12,000 people waiting online. Like, literally, the line is like Pushkina, you know?
2 hours?
At least. Erev Yontif, you know? And downstairs next to the Kloitz. It's the biggest shul in the world. I got like 10,000 people in that shul, maybe more. And I get there, and I told the security, yo, here's the ticket. I told him in Russian. I said, listen, can you hold the traffic until I go in and dip and come out? You know? He's like, what do you mean? He's like, I only work here security. I said, yeah, go tell all your people today you're working for me right now until I don't come out. I pull out $100 bill. He's like, mielich nieto. He's like, there's no smaller money, so we could divide it up by people. I said, listen, rip it. You know, give him 5. How many people? I said, nieto minya. You know, I'm walking around with 100. I don't know what's going on over there. Grivne. It was grivne money. It was like the money, I don't know. I don't have time to change. Gave the guy 100. He hold the traffic. Cleaning. The guy's like, cleaning. And like, oh, everybody out. The people were getting dressed. They told him, yo, get dressed outside. I never, you know, said, you know, that's why I say, when I say Vildachaya, like, I did the stupidest, craziest
Do you
thing.
have T-shirts that say Vildachaya?
No.
Get your trademark on 47th Vildachaya.
Stop it, I don't need a Vildachaya.
Manny, you ever got
Okay.
arrested?
Oh,
You.
my man, I'm
said he was
talking
in
about
jail
something over
88
here.
times.
I'm talking about
88
something else.
times?
I don't know. I don't know what you do. This guy's crazy.
You
I
said
don't know what he's talking about.
Vildachaya, so we're on that topic.
So now I get there. I get to the mikveh. So everybody out. I'm like the only guy there. The guy's like, yo, who are you? I said, listen, my grandfather's the boss. He's like, yeah, I see. Nobody gave me $100 tip. Nobody gave me a tip. I said, well, my friend, I said
Before
this.
Yaeli Landau days.
I said, yeah, there was nobody there. There's no Elliot, Landau. Forget about Landau. Shiner. There's no food.
Louis Shiner wasn't there?
No, he had a
did he
little
wake- when
spot.
did
He
he
had a
wake
little
up?
house.
When did he wake up and become the cool guy?
14 years. So he was always giving, but you know, he made a deal with Rabbi Nachman and God around that time. So now I get into the mikveh. They're like, everybody's like looking like, who are you? Like
Pre-Manny celebrity status.
I even forgot to put a yarmulke and I come out. They're like, you're a local? I said, yeah. You speak Russian? All the Brooklyn guys, you speak Russian? I said, yeah. Tell them something in Russian. So I told him, yo, быстрее занеси его, даст $100. I said, stick him in, he's going to give you $100. What did you tell him? I said, yeah, you're going to give him $100. He's like, I don't have money. I'm going to the mikveh. I said, that's why you're waiting outside. You know? So now I go to Kloitz, and I see this one old man, like look like a rebbe, old man, like hanging on a wall. You know, over there it's like everybody got a ticket. You know, it's like ticket to a stadium. You know, but they don't understand. You know, you're sitting over there and you're praying. Who you praying to? But you got this old man about to collapse and die. because he doesn't have a seat. He didn't buy a ticket. So listen to this. So I'm looking around, I'm observing, all these people talking and, talking to God. I never seen that before. I spoke to God, but not like that, clapping, screaming, yelling. Oh, I thought it was like a war zone. So I turn around, I see this rebel, like almost collapsing, like falling out. I told him, yo, come. I'm observing everybody. I sit in the back, in case somebody walks in and
Man, I'll be honest. Before Clap, he was pushing you to come on the show many weeks. I said, I don't know. You'll hear he's grumpy on the Instagram.
Nah. Listen.
Oh my God, I'm glued.
Listen,
I can hear another 5 hours. Just letting you know,
forget
man.
about it. Okay,
Give me another 5 hours.
Listen to this. So now I see this old man. I tell him, come sit down. Now the guy that bought me the seat, the biggest tzaddik in the world, starts screaming and cursing me out. You like this, you like that. So I said, brother, I don't need to sit like this guy. This guy's about to die. He's falling like, the davening is so long. My brother, all I'm doing is Shmona Esrei and Shema Yisrael. I don't know all this other stuff, So I'm trying to do the shortcut out. I'm starving. So now, all of a sudden, listen to this. The Marav is finished. Everybody's like too busy shaking hands. You want to know who's who? You come in Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah. Everybody's there, The biggest Rishayim probably sitting in the front, unfortunately, So now I get there, and the guy's so angry. Why did you give your seat? Do you know what you have? Tomorrow's going to come sit here. I said, listen, I'm going to go outside Minyan. I'm not interested in this. I just came here because my wife told me to come here and see the Rebbe from 200 years ago. And when I saw the Rebbe, everybody's like, yo, I said, I'm going to go see the Rebbe. So I seen the Rebbe, and as I'm coming out of the Kloitz, he has like 3,000 people lined up to kiss his hand and get a bracha from this guy.
Who is this guy?
I don't even know. Some Rebbe. So he asked me.
Oh, you know who it is? Who's that guy in Israel, the famous guy? He comes with the private jet. They all line up. They go crazy to see him.
No, it wasn't.
Anyway, yeah.
So listen, I get there, and everybody's waiting online. This guy that was screaming at me while I gave him my seat. Now we see what's going on with the whole ordeal, What's going on over here, Everybody want to see what's going on. Which Rebbe to get a bracha. That's the guy that gave a seat to.
You gave him the seat?
Yeah.
He sniffed him out early.
I was like, what'd you tell me, bro? You were a big shot. I would have given you.
You hooked the Rebbe up.
Yeah, so he's like, you got kids? Yesh lecha yeladim. I said, no. He said, you married? I said, yeah. He said, he shook my hand. He gave me a bracha. He kissed my hand. I said, this guy is out of control. Everybody looking like, why this guy kiss his hand and hug him? He hugged me, gave me a bracha. He told me, Banim Zachranim. And I looked at him, I said, well, I don't know what that is. He said, yo. He said, go. He said, you're going to have a kid this year. I told him, yo, this guy is crazy. I said, this whole place is crazy. People dancing. I didn't understand the vibe. I'd never been there. So now I'm hungry. I'm running down Pushkina, thinking that, Pushkina, that's the main street. It's
Pushkina?
Like, yeah. So I'm running down Pushkina. I get to the room. There's like 22 people. And everybody's looking at each other. I'm like, why is everybody looking? It's like, oh, we don't have enough food for everybody. I said, what?
Back to Morocco.
Shh. But I was upset at my wife. She gave me one crazy suitcase. 10 salamis. Crazy. She gave me like 100 challahs. Packages of challah she bought, she put it in. That suitcase was so big, I told her, I'm not taking it. I was screaming at her.
Look at the opposite.
Oh, yeah.
I was screaming at her. I was screaming at her. I said, who needs all this food for 3-day chag? I said, you lost your mind. I said, I'm going to figure it out in the desert. Are you crazy? It was so heavy that when I came to the airport, they charged me money for the weight.
Right.
I was so upset. I wasn't upset to pay. Who's going to schlep this? I'm not a schlepper, I get there. Already the second day of Chag, there was nothing there. Every challah was measured. Every salami, she even put fork, spoon. I'm like, why would I take a fork and a spoon? She gave me a grape juice. I tell her, listen, this thing is gonna explode, and I'm gonna be upset. She told me, don't worry, you don't need it, throw it out. There was not one drop. Everything was used. And I went to a very, very special place. You know, I went to the entrance of Gan Eden. It's called the Sophia Park. It is one of the most beautiful parks I've been in my life.
I think after people watch this, like 20 more thousand people will come this year.
No.
Where's this park?
It's called
Uman.
Sophia
Uman.
Park.
In
Uman?
Yeah. It's Rabbi Nachman was good friends with the queen. She had allergies, and her father bought like million trees from all over the world. It's like the most beautiful place.
Like botanical gardens, cherry blossom
It's
season.
nothing. It's the most beautiful place in the world. And, you know, Rabbi Nachman used to walk around, do Atbadadut over there, you know, and he talked to Hashem and people waiting. It's one of the, I can't tell you how beautiful it is.
They had a
So,
baby.
Are you a Breslover?
I'm everything.
He's a man of the world.
I'm everything. Right now, you know, but Rabbi Nachman I'm very close to Rabbi Nachman, you know. I'm a big believer, you know, of Breslov, because Breslov is the true love of God. They're Rebbe, and they love Hashem, and it doesn't matter who
And then
you
what's with
are.
the baby?
They accept everybody.
Could you pass the Coke? I just got so thirsty. I'm
Yeah.
about to pass out.
So,
why what's with the baby?
So what happened was, Erev, my wife gave birth, and Erev Rosh Hashanah.
Wow.
The bris was Erev Rosh Hashanah. That tomorrow was going to be Rosh Hashanah that same year.
Wow.
Erev Rosh Hashanah, so I made a bris in Leonard's. You ever been in Leonard's in Great Neck? It's a big
sounds
wedding
nice.
hall.
Leonard's.
Yeah. So I had a bris in Leonard's. You know, thousands of people came. It was one of the most beautiful things that I, you know,
Manny, if someone wants to
accomplish.
start a jewelry business today, what would you suggest them? How do they start?
Don't start a jewelry business.
Why not?
Because jewelry business is a headache business. It's people that never-ending nagging, you know? It's a nagging
Hold on,
business.
we had on a jeweler.
1 second. Clappy, can we let him?
Yeah.
It's a nagging. So why are you in the business, Manny?
I'm not in the business. I'm just, you know, just hanging out. I'm not in that business.
You're not in the business. What business are you in?
I'm in every business.
Every business.
Yeah.
But don't get into jewelry.
Right now, no. Why? Let me explain to you why. Because people say, oh, don't get involved, or you're a hypocrite. No. Because right now, to build your customer base is very hard because gold is at 5,000. And to make something today, before when gold was $200-300 an ounce, you could work around it because gold was $6 a gram, $7 a gram. Today, gold is $100 a gram, $120 a gram. And to make a custom piece is very expensive today. They charge a fortune. The castings and the diamonds and the setting.
So you don't advise.
Today, now, with the price of gold, with the price
What
of
about with social media? Could you build a customer base off social media?
by the time you're gonna build it, you're gonna get exhausted. Social media is temporary. Like if somebody doesn't like you, they take you off social media, they take you down. It's like you gotta, you work 10 years of your life, boom, like you see a lot of the social media people, like they have a million of followers and all of a sudden like, boom, they're like, you don't hear from them and then they commit suicide, like, you understand me? Like they like lose it because they're nobody. The social media is them. I don't need social media to be me.
You don't need it. But social media
I'm
helps
me.
you a lot.
But you're playing the game. You like to ride. You're riding this ride with social media.
Listen to me. I don't know what they say. I've been the same way. You understand me? Like you said, like I used to work for Mr. Lane,
The printer.
printer, Yossi Lane.
The print house.
Yeah, 20, 30 years ago. 30 years ago.
Was Kadana there? Zev?
I don't know.
Okay.
He had a son named Shlomo.
Shalom.
Shalom, yeah.
The print house.
He came after. He moved from the Brooklyn factory, the small factory that he had. He bought the toy store out, Mattel or Barbie or something like that. He bought the toy store out. And when I tell you, the guy, after he bought it, he was setting it up. He had such a hard time of paying people, but he never, he had Goyim work for him. He had Hasidim work for him. I got the job. Somebody I knew them, and they gave me the job. I used to take the train there. Never. He used to talk to me. I'm a nobody. You know, he used to tell me, listen, you know, it was, you know, he used to talk to me. He used to be nice to me. He used to, you know, his wife is a real.
Are you still in touch with him?
No. But
When's the last time you spoke to him?
a long time. I
20
haven't
years?
seen him. Yeah, but
Show
not
him,
about that.
show him. Go buy some watches for Manny.
No, I don't need nothing. Don't buy nothing for me. I'm just telling you, you know, people only gonna remember the good. And I never forget the people that are good. You know, when I came to America and there was a kid in my class, he wasn't in my class. You know, there was a kid by the name of Oshi Shafran. You know, Oshi Shafran. You know, he comes from a very, very good family. You know, today I know the father, I know the mother, but this one kid, Oshi Shafran, you know, when we came to America, I had 2 shirts, I had 1 pants, it was tight on me. You know, and how many times are you gonna wear the same shirt? We didn't have money.
This one's also tied you. Right.
No, this is good. It's stretchy. I used to go to school. I used to go to school, and kids used to make fun of me. So he decided that he's gonna bring some of his wardrobe to me. He brought me shoes, and he brought me a shirt, and he brought me pants.
Love these stories.
And you know, when you know, you can ask my kids. You know, I said, one time I tell my kids, you know, why I tell my kids, because it's very important. You know, you should never forget the people that did good for you. It's very important because, you know, I used to go to school, people used to make fun of me. And I said, what the flip, why are you making fun of me, you know? They told me that I belong to this nation of this Jewish people. So I went to the Jewish school, and then, you know, and we didn't have. Everybody used to get on a bus to go to Jewish, you know, go to school. We used to walk for 45 minutes. 45 minutes every day in all weathers. We used to walk.
No bus.
No bus. In the beginning, there was no bus because we didn't speak English. We didn't know anything. And even my sisters went to all-boys school. They made a special room in the school.
What school? We can't say.
I tell you, I went to school in Kew Gardens called Ferris Moshe. You know, very, very religious school. You know, very, very good people, and I never forget, you know, these people that gave, you know,
The shirts off the back.
my family and I, you know,
Did your father eventually
opportunity.
come?
Yeah, my father came back
How many years after did you?
20 years after.
He came 20 years later.
Yeah, he came and left, you know. These people, let me tell you something. When people are
You had a
attached,
relation with your father or no?
yeah, you know, it's tough relationship, but it's a relationship.
He's
But
still living?
I respect him, yeah. But it's not like a father and son type of relationship, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we are grown up already. That's why I tell everybody, you know, you got to be very close to your kids. You know, you got to do a lot for your kids, and you got to take them out. You got to talk to them. Today generation, you know, people don't have time. Forget about, you know, they're so busy, stuck to making money that they forget to spend time with their kids, you know. It's very important. That's why I take 3 weeks off. You know, for me to take 3 weeks off, I shut off from the world.
How many people work for you, Manny?
Doesn't matter. A lot of people work for me.
5?
What are you, the IRS or something?
I'm just curious.
Yeah, I
There's an operation going on.
I got enough people, you know. I'm a
massive.
nobody. I'm also an employee. I'm gonna mop the floor too. Do you know why? I'm never gonna forget. You know what I'm saying? If I need to get on my knees to fix something, I will get on my knees to fix something. Because I don't have this, do you know who am I? Do you know who are you? I don't have this gava, you know? I don't know. Yeah. Do you know who am I? I'm this, I'm that. No. I'm a nobody. I'm working for my kids. You understand me? Do you know that every survivor that survived, you know, they died. They died. Do you know why? Do you know why they succeeded? Why did they succeed? Because they died. They just didn't get buried. They had nothing to lose. You know, they had nothing to lose. So I'm not gonna work on Shabbos. So I'm not gonna eat meat. I'm gonna eat challah. So I'm gonna eat a kugel. I'm gonna eat a potato. Those are the people that have succeeded today. You know, those are the people that succeeded
Nothing
today.
to lose.
Huh?
They had nothing to lose.
Because they had nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose. I got nothing to lose. What do I have to lose? What's the worst that could happen? I'm going to start again.
Manny, my brother says the most successful people don't have a relationship with their father. Do you think that's true?
I didn't say that I'm going to disrespect
my brother.
father.
This is my brother's theory. I wanna hear your opinion.
Listen to me. Because people get pushed away, you know what I'm saying, as a child. You know, people, the worst thing in a family is to get divorced. You know, I know somebody that just got divorced. She got 9 kids. Like, are you stupid? You're already a grandmother. What are you going to get divorced for? She did a body job. She did this. She did that. First of all, it's not sneers. You know? A religious couple walked in to my office, a very successful real estate guy. And I told, Hasidim also, but, she want to buy 1 carat as bracelet, tennis bracelet.
Every stone a carat?
Yeah, every stone is a carat. Listen. So they came through a recommendation and this and that. So I'm friends with the renewal, and somebody gave a kidney, and I did a home thing for them. So through people, they came to me. They called me up. Can you help me? My daughter's getting married. I want to buy a bracelet. Beautiful lady, in her early 50s, maybe late 40s. Her husband is successful. You could see Hasidic man, real estate developer. And I looked at her, and she's talking. I said, excuse me. I said, you finished? She said, why? I said, are you finished? She said, I told her, this is very bad to have 1 carat. I said, you don't need people to have eyes on you. Be interested in getting your kids married. You understand me? This is nothing. In her mind, she need 1 carat. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because
So
it was.
you talked yourself out of a sale?
I told her. I said, it's not sneers. And her husband was shocked. It's not sneers. It's not modest.
Is that what's modest, Manny?
This is not mine. Nothing belongs to me. Gotcha. You understand me? It doesn't belong to me, but I'm not. Listen, it's a man's watch, but here's a lady that has 1 carat. It's got a 5 carat. The sky doll is nothing. But listen, you know what happened?
How much is that? 50? 40?
70-something thousand. It's nothing. It's brand new. I was gonna sell it, and then look what I'm wearing. Look, I got a girl that came to my office. She drew up a Rolex. Yeah, she drew up a Rolex. That's what I was walking around for 3 days. Yeah, she drew up a Rolex. You know what? She said, one day, I want to buy my parents a Rolex. She drew up a Rolex.
Manny, what do you think of this watch?
I don't know. What is that? Tissot.
Tissot. It's the PRX. It's automatic. I Googled the best watch in the world under $1,000. This always came up. I bought it. $700. It's a pretty good watch.
Me, I wouldn't wear a watch.
You wouldn't wear a watch? You're wearing one. What do you mean?
I wouldn't wear a watch.
But you don't know this watch?
No, I wouldn't wear a watch.
You wouldn't in general?
Me?
Yeah.
I wouldn't wear that watch.
That watch.
Why?
You understand me? Because it's not the watch. It's the person that's wearing the watch. If you like that watch, wear the watch. You don't need to impress nobody. You understand me? The people today, it's become like look at me. It's not like that.
But you make your money with look at me people.
Okay, so I'm not even looking at that. I told the customer, don't buy it. Don't buy the bracelet. I said, it's not sneeze. The husband was shocked. The lady, she was shocked. She's like, what do you know about sneeze? I said, listen to me. Your daughter's going to get married. You're going to walk in there with all this kind of jewelry. I said, it's not appropriate.
Manny, you sell jewelry to rich people. What are 3 common denominators you see with rich people?
Hold on one second. We'll get to the
well,
3
hold on. I just know.
What did you do with her? What
he
did
said
you
you
sell her?
didn't.
I convinced her
not to get it. What's
to buy
that's
50 pointers.
50 pointers.
Yeah.
So you made less money, but you got them.
It
something
doesn't
more
matter
serious.
about the money.
He says it's not serious.
Sometimes you got to care about the customer. It doesn't
Sometimes.
matter.
Manny.
A skinny girl comes in. She wants a 40-millimeter Daytona. She doesn't fit in a Daytona. She's getting married. She's 19 and a half years old. What are you doing with a Daytona? You know what I'm saying? A 26-millimeter watch looks big on you. You know what I'm saying?
Manny.
I tell them straight in their face. I said, you're a retarded person. You're retarded. Something's wrong with you. I said, what are you looking for? Attention. Go have kids. Go wear a nice gold watch. Go wear a two-tone watch. Go wear something like more calm. Okay, you want to buy 3 watches.
More edel.
You have to be
Manny.
humble. You have to be humble. Were you going to conquer the world now?
Manny, you deal with rich people all day, but that's who people buy fancy watches. What are common denominators you see in personality traits or whatever?
Believe it or not,
Yeah.
I got some of the biggest customers. I got a big time mortgage company.
All right.
Owner of a big time mortgage company, no name.
Yeah.
He walked into my office. He was shocked to see my office, like so many people. He thought I have a showroom. This, that. I treat people like, well, what is it you need? It's like, I'm looking for a sky dweller. He wanted to buy the pink gold sky dweller. He looked at me. He was stuck in time. His driver was waiting. Some big time CEO. And
Is this the pink gold Skydweller?
yeah, listen. So and then what happened was he bought the watch. He bought a stainless steel watch, and I don't know. I called him up out of the blue and I asked him, "Are you happy with the purchase?" He told me the truth. No. He's like, "I want to buy the pink gold." I told him, "Okay, send me back the watch. I'll send you the pink gold." He said, "You gonna do that?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "You bought it last week. What's gonna happen? What do you scratch the watch?" He's like, "Wow, I made a sale." Some big time company called me from Detroit, a big car maker, biggest car maker in the world. Yeah. He's in charge of robotics. He's like CEO of robotics, big time car maker with a big name, like a serious, valuation of a T, He called me up and he told me, "Listen, I want to know, do you have this watch in stock?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "But I never bought anything secondhand." I said, "It's not secondhand." He said, "What do you mean?" "It's not new." I said, "It is." He's like, "How do you have it? I've been waiting on the list already for 8 years."
Yeah.
Those fake made like Rolex waiting lists, they're all
So
fake.
I told him, "Okay, so where are you?" He said, "Detroit." I said, "You know what? Send me your address." I did a FaceTime and I seen the logo of the company. I'm like, "Is that you?" He's like, "Yeah." But I do the robotics. We put the cars together.
Driverless.
So I tell him, "Okay." And I told him, "Send me your address." He's like, "For what?" So I'm going to send you the watch. And it was a $58,000 watch. He's like, "You going to send me the watch without a payment?" I said, "Yeah. The same way you wouldn't buy a secondhand from a secondhand person, I'm going to send you the watch. You like it, you sleep with it one day, you like it, you buy it, pay me. You don't like it, ship it back." He said, "What? You going to do that?" He went to the Rolex store. Okay, he's a big guy. So even the owner came out from the Rolex store in Detroit. He told the guy what happened. He said, "Yeah, there's only one crazy guy. His name is Uncle Manny." The Rolex store already knew who did that transaction.
Man, you didn't answer the question.
He's like, "How do you know?" So what do you want to know? The rich people, how do they act?
Yeah, what's their personality?
Believe it or not, like their personality, a lot of they're not bad people. I deal with big time players. I have a CEO of a bank. Like you walk into a bank.
If someone says these are the top 3 characteristics of rich people successfully, what are they?
They're good people.
That's it.
I
Good.
have a lot of good people. Like, you know what kind of wealth these people have? They didn't inherit the wealth. They're not snobby rich. They're self-made millionaires.
So self-made are usually
I
nice?
do business with self-made millionaires because they turn to talk to you. I could spiel with them. I could talk to them. I could talk about any business. I could talk to you about any business. I could talk to you about the shoelaces that goes on the shoes to the buttons of your
So
shirt.
the self-made ones are the nice ones.
Yes.
The inherited ones are not nice.
No. Because they say, "Why would I buy from you?" Because they're snobby. They're not here. Because the money was never made by them. The money was never made by them. They're not here.
Manny.
You didn't answer the
I
question.
spoke to somebody.
What?
What's the characteristics of they're just good people? Good people are rich.
Listen, if it's self-made,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're good people.
Gotcha.
Self-made.
Always.
Yes.
Self-made people or good.
99%
Or what does good mean?
very humble,
Humble.
very respectful. They say, "Are you sure you want to do that?" I met the nicest people, self-made millionaires. The problem is when you're gonna get into people that did it in a shyster way. I could smell a drug dealer from a mile away. You know, when you walk in, like he smells like shit.
Wait,
You know,
One second.
Hold on, what's one second?
We're going in circles over
What
here.
circles?
You have a good feeling on people, a good read on the crowd.
yes,
I spoke to somebody at 8 by Friday night. The husband, wife, kids, teenagers.
Yeah.
They were on a big Passover program, with no scandals. They said there was about 1,500 people there. They said all the teenagers were doing drugs.
yes.
Half the parents were doing drugs. Cocaine going around like it was grape juice in your program. Why are the young people turning to drugs thinking it's normal? It's in our crowds.
Because
it's in our circles.
they have everything. They don't need to do nothing. The parents are giving them. All you gotta do is be nice. All you gotta do is behave. Those are the kids, and then they ask why is my kids overdosing? Why is my kids go off the derech? Why is my kids like not in a path of Hashem, a path of God? Why is my kids like, why are their kids coming out sick? Because all this drugs is gonna come back somebody not normal. You understand me? Handicap, Down syndrome, all these. You're laughing, but it's true.
Manny, so if someone's rich.
It's true.
Manny, how do they get their kids
He
not
doesn't
to be
want to talk
spoiled?
about it, but it's true.
No.
Oh, so he's actually circling back. So how do the rich people get their kids not to go on drugs? What do?
It's too late. It's too late. You
They
know
got
why?
carat diamonds. That's why.
Because no, it's too late.
Half the carats.
Do you know why? It's too late. Because they have so much. It's me, my family. They try to hide about it. They don't talk about it. They don't try to get off of it. It's like a style. It's like, you see married women. It's like, talking. It's like, talking to, another, I don't want to talk bad about people, but let me explain to you something. Why would a married guy and a married woman, go on a lunch date
If they're not
without
married.
without their spouse? There's a place in New York that's allowed. You could be friends. Why would I have your wife's phone number? It's unsneers. It's wrong. It leads to bad things. Your wife is not bad. It's the person that has the phone could have bad intention. Unfortunately, that's how homes break down. And people have stress, anxiety. There's no such thing as anxiety. Anxiety is all in your head. You built the anxiety yourself. I've been under so much stress in my life. I've been all, you know what I'm saying? When there was a point in my life, the guy told me, what floor are you going to jump out of? You understand me?
How bad was it, Manny?
It was bad.
Like
That's
what?
when you had more than 5 phones?
1 second, clap. How bad? Please describe. You know money? Minus money?
Let me explain to you something.
Tell us how bad.
I was involved in a partnership, and I built a big house. I had 5 cars in a driveway with no driver license. Because I just got my driver license after like 20-something years, and I sound old, but I'm not old. Mm-hmm. And when I came to the Diamond District, I had $20 in my pocket. $20.
5 cars, a mansion, and $5.
Yes, and I didn't have money for gas, and I would use the other cars to drive the ones that had gas. And
how'd you lose all your money?
I didn't. The partner stole the money.
Gotcha.
A family member. So, you understand me? And in the end, you understand me? In the end, he lost it all.
He lost it.
Yeah, and then,
And Uncle Manny is king of the castle.
No. No, he lost it all. And then people told me, you should say hi, I said, how am I going to say hi to a gun of like that, You understand me? Straight up. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? If you have emunah in Hashem, and you believe in God, and you believe, that should be your way, Sometimes God takes you down because he doesn't want to take your money. He takes your money, but he doesn't want to take you. There's things that brother, you something wrong with you. You need to get it checked out.
Allergies.
Yeah. You see what I mean? You need to, you need to work on yourself. You know what I mean? And everything that you do, you need to work on yourself. So when you work on yourself, then you work, spiritually, mentally, physically. It doesn't work
Manny,
like
what
that.
does your street smart say about me and my partner? Can we get a read? I want to hear your street insights.
Like Tony Soprano said, Hasidim, but I don't believe him. I don't know. What do you want me to tell you?
I want to hear your street. I like hearing your insights.
The truth.
Yeah. We're, 8 months into the show?
8 months.
8 months. Want to hear your opinion, Manny?
He's a fast talker. You understand me? But he doesn't have bad in him. He just, that's the way, he is. That's the way he is. You're a thinker. You think too much. That's your biggest problem is you think too much. And before you do anything, you ask 10 people. And 10 people give you 10 different directions. And when you get 10 different directions, you don't become shit. You understand me? You have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe in your wife, and you have to believe in your children. You understand me? And you have to ask your Rebbe. You have to ask your spiritual leader. Everybody needs a spiritual leader.
That he's a side.
And Hashem, and God is going to send you an answer. 2 years ago, I split up with a partner. I don't want to talk. I split up with a partner. There was a lot of money missing. Split up with a partner. He claims that he gave me the money. It doesn't matter. I walked away. I shook his hand. People say, how you shake his hand? I'm the company. Me, my face is the company. He's not the company. You understand me? He's not the company because he cannot wake up 4 o'clock in the morning to fly to Houston to sit with a guy and explain to him why he needs to pay me. Some Vietnamese guy or some Pakistani guy or some big-time Israeli that ran away from Israel and decides, he's going to be the biggest chas v'shalom goy, you know what I'm saying? Or some guy, yes, or some guy that, acts like the biggest animal and has the guns and this and that and thinks that he could, he's the guy in charge. I specialize in bullshit. You understand me? Because I have a way, not me. God gave me a way to deal with everything. I've been through it all. You know what I'm saying? I walked away from millions in my life. I lost one of the best guys one of my friends. He didn't lose money. I lost the money. And then we walked away. When the market dropped, you understand me? On diamonds, I lost the money. I owed him $1.5 million. I gave him $3 million collateral. You understand? Today is worth $10 million. I gave him $3 million collateral. I told him, listen, I guarantee the partnership. I lost the money. His name is Yossi Grunberg. His father was one of the biggest tzaddik in the world, Irving Grunberg. You know what I'm saying? They're from, the best people. He lives in Jersey. One of the best people. You know what? I lost. I would give him the $1.5 million more to be his friend. It's sometimes the money, you lose somebody very special to you. Another time I owed a guy $5,000. $5,000 I owed the guy. I forgot to take a bill. Nobody takes a bill. It's a handshake. After I collapsed, he tell people I owe him $50,000. He put another zero behind the 5. So how you gonna fight with a ganav? How you gonna fight with a thief? So I came to a conclusion. After he saw me in the street, he called me a thief. He called me this. He called me that. I said, I owe you $5,000. It's not $50,000. Nope. Here's the paper. You understand? Here's the paper. But the star is fake. It's fake. It's made up. He's the only one that has it. But he doesn't see what I see. You know what I see? God told me give him the $45,000 extra. Do you know why? Because he needs it. Huh? When he was sick in Sloan Catering, I went to visit him. His kids ask me, why are you visiting my father? You know? I said, me and him, we did a lot of business together. One day I walked in to his room. He was so shocked to see me. He thought I forgot about the money. So I came to check up on you. To see how you're doing. To see how you're doing. My wife asks me, why do you go to check up on this guy? Why do you go check up on him? I want to make sure my medicine is working. That's how Russia thinks. But he was a Russia first. I want to see. That's Emunah Hashem. What are you talking about? You want to know? Do business. You're going to run into a lot of people. You know, a guy you used to see him 20 years in shul. What are you talking about? We sit next to each other. How could he do that to me? My brother, he will do that to you. Do you know why? Because when it comes to money, people have no fear of nothing. I got the paper. He showed the paper to everybody. I'm here. Where is he? Where is he?
He didn't leave. He didn't leave Sloan Memorial.
What?
He didn't leave the hospital. You're saying?
No. The Malach Mavet would never let him leave. You think the Malach Mavet would let him leave? Why? Why you think Malach Mavet would let him leave?
Angel of death.
Yes. Why you think the angel of death? Understand? Why you think that way? Because when you hurt somebody, I don't wish him bad. I went to go visit him. I spoke to Malach Mavet. I told him, listen, make sure he spends my $45,000. I'm not crazy. My brother, whatever you're thinking, I already forgot. You're going to be 100 years old. You're not going to come to my... But I witnessed it. You understand me? I witnessed it. I seen it all. I seen it all. I witnessed it. So when you talk about, you know, what are you talking about? He's my best friend. He's my partner, my friend. You know who's your best friend? Who do you think is your best friend? It's not your bank account. Did you see what happened during COVID? Did you go to your bank? Did they give you your money? Did they give you your money? No. All this real estate, you could have sold it during pandemic? No. The guy tell me, you know how much I'm worth? My brother, tell me how much you're worth. You're 50 years old. You're divorced, no kids. You didn't give your wife a get. How much are you worth? How much are you worth? Your wife is 38. How many more years do you think she's going to have kids? How much are you worth? You understand me? But why the neighborhood doesn't get involved? Why the shuls don't get involved? Why they let him back in? Because he's given a donation? But he didn't give his wife a get. You're a restaurant owner. Why you let him in?
Spending
Why?
money.
Yeah. That has nothing to do with me. He has a problem over there. Do you understand? It's your problem too. That could be your daughter. That could be your sister. That could be your aunt. That could be your cousin. You understand me? People forget. You're in front of the shul. 20,000 donation. What happened? Oh, don't worry. Why he don't give his wife a get? Why the Bezdin don't get involved? Why the religious people don't get involved? Because it's a business. The whole religion thing today, unfortunately, became a business. You have to talk to him.
Flopper's girl helps them.
What is it? And I used to do that before she got involved. You understand me?
Is she successful?
I don't know who you're talking about. by somebody making noise and screaming and yelling, that's not going to change things. You got to do it politically incorrect. You understand me? Politically incorrect. I don't want to get into it because everybody's a snake, you know? You understand? Today, everybody's like, hello? Yeah, 911. Yeah, that guy over there in the thing, he was talking about this and that. Like, those are the people that voted for Mamdani. Now they're in a shit box, you know? I voted for Mamdani because I want everybody to see. I want the young generation to wake up. Like you said, everybody's on some kind of a drug. You know why they're on a drug? Because there's 2 drugstores in every corner in America. It's very easy to get the drug. And then I say, why? Why? Say to yourself. If a kid is a little troublemaker, he needs drugs to calm him down. If a kid has an issue sitting down, he needs drugs to calm him down. If a kid can't concentrate in school, what are you talking about? Today, teachers don't want to be teachers. They're substitutes. The rabbis, they're trying to get that money. You know what I'm saying? What do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to tell you? If you don't love your kid, no one's going to love your kid. They're going to put him on drugs. You know what I mean? It's an unfortunate situation. So what are you trying to say? There's drugs always going to be. There's people that go to college, don't come back. Do you know why? Freedom. My
They
kids
don't come back where?
They don't come back home.
To religion.
Forget about religion. They marry outside. They don't want to talk. They don't want to come back.
They check out.
Yeah, they check out. That's it. But when you talk to them, do you know my son got a job? He's in Silicon Valley, the American end. Do you know what kind of job is that? He's working for this company. I Googled his ass. He's making $78,000. He's making $78,000. You know what I'm saying?
Your watch is more.
Forget about that. I'm not saying my watch is more, but the guy makes $78,000. And then what? He talks about all this nonsense. I did this, I did that. My friend, what did you do? You understand me? I'm gonna go check up on him in Sloan Catering. When he asked me, why are you coming? I said, nah, I happen to be here. I stopped in. I wish you a big, big refuah. Shalema.
You're saying everyone gets it. Karma comes around.
Of course.
That's your
It's
message.
not me. It's not me. It's the world. Don't spit at the fan.
Clappy says it's time to go. Yeah. I can be another
Manny,
hour.
it's been a lot of fun.
I'll shake your hand.
Don't make me look bad. Clappy. You're going to get clapped.
There's almost no editing. You did exactly everything's perfect.
I don't know.
Atzlacha, thank you so much.
Historical. That's all I
Very
can say.
historical.
This podcast is historical.
Support Uncle Manny.
Don't come to me. I don't need big machas like you in my life.